Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV. Hope you guys are well, wherever it is that you may be around the world. And I am in my house. This is my spare room. I haven't finished yet. I've only been in 3 days, but I've got a nice little blue light at the top. I'm going to be sticking these shirts somehow. So not on hangers at the moment, but on the walls somehow as well. The scarf, I've got pictures. Trust me, this whole room at a later stage is going to be complete Chelsea stuff. But guys, how are you, man? How are all of you? I hope you guys are all well across the world. We are going to be talking about the news that's happened over the last 6 days. I know I've been out, which is unusual for GNA TV. We're usually always bringing streams every sort of day or two for you guys. But I'm back, which means hard streams just before the transfer market starts. Chelsea Football Club have got a lot happening in this space of time as well. We're going to be talking about every single rumour today in regards to transfers, players that could potentially be coming to Chelsea, players that could potentially leaving this football club as well. We're going to be going through every single thing right here. But you need to make sure that you smash the likes, guys. Let's get these likes up. Big up to every single one of you guys in the chat already. Over 30 of you guys here. You know what time it is. Let's cue the intro. Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are well, wherever it is that you may be around the world. And before I even get into it, because there is loads to talk about, lots happened in the last 6 days, 6 to 7 days since I've been around. Lots has happened. I want to just say hello to everyone in the chat. Big up to Vinny. He says, big up, Jim. Hope you're well. Big up to you, my bro. I am tired, as you can probably see. I'm tired. I am. I'm getting there. But I miss doing this. And I wanted to come on and do this stream with you guys, you know. Chelsea fan guys, it's been a long time. Chelsea hasn't won the English league. Our fans just swap. Fair enough. We're going to be talking about Lukaku. He's one of the guys we'll be talking today. Gary says Chelsea must move cleverly and properly, not just quickly. That's how we ended up with Lukaku. Quick fix, they thought, but ended up being the biggest fuck up. Big up to Gary as well. Dills is in the house. Dills CFC. Hope you're well, my brother. Declared wants a house tour. Maybe one day I'll give you a house tour. I will give you a house tour once I've settled in. Like, there's still boxes around and things and whatever else. But yeah, man, it's all good. Big up to Rodrigo Rogers in the house as well. Yeah, lots of news, lots to talk about. And I think more than anything, it's going to be more of a thing of me giving my personal feels about who I think I would prefer to come in and who I wouldn't want to come in. We are going to be talking about every sort of player that I've seen us being linked to as well. Big up to Ads in the house. Aaron, nice to see you. Oh my God, I've just lost the track. Aaron, big up to you, bro, as well. A Paul Vikes, nice to see you. Do what Ads says though as well, guys. Over 40 of you guys here. Let's get them likes up. Subscribe if you're new to GNA TV. We are on the way to 10K. And we can make the 10K. We can. We will make that 10K. If we could do that by the end of the year, it would be huge. It would be absolutely huge for the community, not just the channel itself, but the community. Big up to Michael. Would you replace Lukaku? Who would you replace Lukaku with? Well, save that thought, Michael, because we will be talking about Romelu Lukaku very shortly, mate. Lots of news around him. Fergie's son, nice to see you in the house as well. Been a while since you've come across recently, so it's nice to see you in the house. CFC Blue, nice to see you. Johnny, nice to see you. Who else we've got? Andreas, it's nice to see you, mate. Alonso plus Lukaku outgoings party to be organised as well. Yep, 100%. I haven't got any blinds at the moment, so if I look like I'm dark here and then I'm light here, it's because I haven't got got blinds coming, but they take time to be made. So just bear with me with the effects at the moment. Terrible Dembele because of injuries records. He's better than anything we have in forward line. Plus, we need the type of player. Look, I'm going to talk about Dembele. I'll tell you the players that we're going to talk about. Just give you a little taster. These are players that could potentially be coming to this football club. We're going to be talking about Dembele. We're going to be talking about Neymar. We're going to be talking about Nkunku. We're going to be talking about Declan Rice. We're going to be talking about Kounde. We're going to be talking about the guy from Leipzig. I can never say his name, so I say the guy from Leipzig, Guvardal, whatever his name is. We're going to be talking about players going out as well. And there's a couple of things that have come out today, which we'll be going through on the show as well. It's been a long time, Chelsea. Yeah, I've seen that already. Ram says, what is this new setup? Well, it's a half set up at the moment, mate. I've just moved house round, so I've kind of rushed around and just made things happen. But do you like the blue light? See the blue light? It's like an LED light. So in the night when we're doing streams, it'll light up the room, which is the idea anyway. But I still put it on. Big up to Grey Wolves Dinner in the house as well. MKZ thoughts on Emerson staying. That's another one we've got to talk about. Emerson, there's so much. I haven't even thought about Emerson, to be fair. Texas Blue, nice to see you as well. PJ Artist as well. Over 51 of you guys here. I want to start quickly just with a little bit. I mean, the main show today is built around transfers. So we'll be talking ins and outs at Chelsea Football Club. But we're going to spend the first 5-10 minutes just quickly talking about the breaking news that came out yesterday. So let's get into this. Continue hitting the like button as well. Let's get into this because Todd Boehly, something that we've been waiting for a very long time, has been announced as the new owner of Chelsea Football Club. Him, along with Clearlake Capital, have completed the buy of the football club. Is it worth reading the statement? Well, I won't read the statement from... Well, actually, we can, can't we? Come on, Jem. Come on, Jem. Won't take you long. Just quickly share it with you guys, give my thoughts on it. So the board of directors of Chelsea Football Club Limited, Roman Abramovich completed the sale of Chelsea Football Club, as we already know. Todd Boehly and Clearlake Capital have took over. Since the process commenced on the 2nd of March, Roman Abramovich was announced his intention to sell the club, blah, 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 blah. We already know this. I'm going to kind of fly through this one because I don't really want to bore you to death. Sanctions on the 10th of March. Mr. Abramovich was sanctioned, we know. The club operator confined constraints to restrictive general license by the government, blah, 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 blah. We know this. The process was extremely thorough and completed on an accelerated timeline. Now, they say accelerated timeline. For me, and I know for you guys, because we covered a lot of the owner show on here as well, that didn't feel like an accelerated timeline. All right, they got it done before the special licensing ran out, which was on the 31st. But, sorry guys. But it felt like it dragged out. We kind of knew that Todd Boehly was going to get there. We know that he had the OD test to pass. We know that he had to get approval from the government as well. These were things that I feel dragged out. I know they say they accelerate, but I feel dragged out. Many described the proposed transaction as unprecedented as it was. A transaction such as this would normally take 9 months to a year to complete, but we did it in less than 3 months. And that's fair enough. When you look at the move and the ongoing deals that would be going on between Newcastle and their new owners, you know, and when you listen to it into more depth as how long it took them to get that all sorted, it was a long process. It was a very long process. Apparently, Chelsea had more than 250 inquiries, 250 inquiries from proposed purchasers, held detailed discussions with more than 100 individual entities, and entered into 32 confidentiality agreements. And obviously, the club then received 12 credible bids, which we know then fell down to 4, and then at a later stage came to 3 bids. The preferred bidder, which we've got here obviously Todd Boehly, is clearly kind of rose above the groups, which includes Mark Walters and co-founder of CEO Guggenheim Capital, which is a big entity owned by Mark Walters. Whether or not later on he will tie the company into the whole consortium to fund more money in the long term is yet to be seen. He could look to do that because having a company as big as that, and I'm talking about hundreds and billions of pounds in net worth, is what this company is worth, could really help Clearlake Capital and Todd Boehly in the long run. Maybe not more so now, because Clearlake Capital was obviously going to fund what we believe is the majority of the money, should we say. You know, Mark Walters has money, Todd Boehly has money, but obviously Clearlake Capital is the bigger proportion of the control. And we're going to talk about that in a second as well. Vice, as we know, is already in it as well. A belief by the board is that this group could help the club resolve certain current challenges and could assist in creating new opportunities and help the club reach its long-term strategies. We believe the board and Boehly's Clearlake Group have the shared vision for future success. Fair enough. Structure of the transition. In choosing the right stewards for the club, blah, 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 blah. I ain't going to read that to you. That's boring. Stakeholders and approvals. Again, the people that were involved in it. And then it just says thank you from the Chelsea Football Club itself on certain manners. So we move from that one and then we'll go back to the consortium statement, which we received from Todd Boehly and the consortium. And we'll quickly fly through that as well. And it says, new joint control owners are committed to the growth and building on the tradition of unparalleled football excellence. And when we read into this, it's a statement which says this: the consortium led by Todd Boehly, chairman, together with today announced completion of the ownership and transfer of Chelsea Football Club. The consortium has also included Hans-Jost Witz, founder of Witz Foundation, Mark Walters, as we already know. Walter and Boehly are owners of Los Angeles Dodgers. We already know that. Los Angeles Lakers and Los Angeles Sparks. The transaction has revealed all necessary approvals from the government of the United Kingdom. The Premier League and other authorities. Under terms of the agreement, Boehly and Clearlake will share joint control and equal governance of the club. Boehly will serve as the chairman of the holding company. Boehly and Clearlake Capital are committed into investing in key areas that extend to competitiveness. So Chelsea's competitors. So then it'll be redevelopment of the bridge, further investment into the academy, the women's team, and Kings Meadow Stadium as well. The owners will also continue the important work of the Chelsea Foundation. We are honoured to become the new custodians of Chelsea Football Club, said Boehly. We are all in 100% every minute of every match. Our vision as owners is clear. We want to make the fans proud. Along with our commitment to developing the youth squad and acquiring the best talent, our plan of action is to invest into the club long-term and build Chelsea's remarkable history of success. Now, he's saying all the right things, as they all do. Like I keep saying, the proof is in the pudding. We know that he's got a track record with the Dodgers. We know his track record with the Dodgers is very good. However, doing it there in that industry, sporting industry, and doing it here could be two different things. And that's the one thing that we need to wait for and see. Personally, want to thank the ministers of the British government, Begdad Egbali and Josie El Falino, Clearlake's co-founders and managerial partners, said, we are excited to commit the resources to Chelsea to continue Chelsea's leading role in English and global football. And as an engine for football talent development, we also want to thank the authorities for all their success. Then it says, Todd and the rest of the consortium mainly grow up the club as a global platform together. We will expand the club's investment across the infrastructure. So this is the bit here. Together, we will expand the club's investment across infrastructure, technology, and sports science to support the incredible Chelsea Football Club commercial teams, all with the goal of leveraging the growth to fuel even more on the pitch. So, again, saying the right things. Infrastructure is important. We said that. Will the infrastructure be changed? Will it continue from Roman Abramovich? Will they look to do something completely different with it? That's what we need to wait and see. Sports science is an interesting word. Something that I don't feel we can, as fans, answer yet. Now, we know that Todd Boehly, Clearlake Capital, etc., Mark Walters, they like to use the word data, as we like to say. Now, that might be behind this sports science in regards to transfers, in regards to the type of profile players that bring across. Maybe they are going to have a complete different way of approaching the transfer market to Roman. And this is why us as Chelsea fans need to understand this from now on. I see a couple of people on social media, especially on Twitter, saying, that they're sitting on the fence with Todd Boehly. I agree. And I think we all should be sitting on the fence when it comes to what he's going to do. But we have to give him time. And if one summer window is not the window that we as fans want to see, then we need to accept that they ain't going anywhere anytime soon. But we need to understand the vision. And the vision is the most important thing that we need to see. And he, as the owner, along with Clearlake Capital, need to make sure that us as fans see. So, short. But in the long term, it's very important for us to wait, to not jump gun. Do you know what I mean? Just sit on our chairs and allow this time for them to do and show us their vision and strategies for this football club. all with the goal of leveraging the growth, blah, blah, blah. The new ownership group wishes to recognize the dedication and professionalism of the Department of Digital Culture, blah, 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 blah. Then it says here, Deutsche Bank, Goldman Sachs, Moelis and Company, and Roby Warshaw serve as the financial advisors to the new ownership group. Latham and Watkins, Paul Weiss, Rifkin, all these guys, will serve as legal counsels as well. So there you go, financial advisors. People want to know what financial advising is. It's pretty straightforward. Probably a little bit more detailed when it comes to business, but it's how you spend it. Not only how do you spend the money, but how do you grow the money? Growth is the biggest word when you think about these things. Rain Group served as an exclusive financial advisor to Fordstrom Limited and Chelsea FC, Northbridge Law, LLP, blah, 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 are also legal counsels as well. So there you go, right? We've got a vague idea, should we say, a very vague idea of where Todd Boehly is or wants to go with this. It is going to be a long-term thing. We are going to have to be patient. We can't be jumping the guns too early as fans. And look, I think we're all sitting here expecting lots to happen over the summer, and I understand that. I kind of feel that we've been forced into a position where we have to make certain things happen, i.e. players to bring in. We're going to go straight into the transfer talk now, which is the main topic of the show today. All the players that I can think of, we're going to discuss. How do they fit Chelsea? What would Tuchel do with them? We're going to be talking all of that today. Even to the point where I might even do a FIFA squad builder. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about that as well. Because the one thing that, and we're going to get to that in a second, one thing that I think we will see Tuchel do next season is I feel that he will push the 3 system again. I know some people want the 4, but I think the 3 is something he feels comfortable with the current players that he has. I just feel that he needs to strengthen and have more versatile players to play in that 3 system. Yeah, he might want to switch to a 4 in certain games, but you can still do that when you have versatile players. And that's why Todd Boehly, Marina Graverskaya, Bruce Buck, the scouting department of Chelsea Football Club, they all have to get this spot on. I just want to quickly say hello to everyone. Big up to Strip Bear. Nice to see you in the house as well. We've got a Fergie's son here. Phil, nice to see you, bro. Nunes a doo-doo, what are you on about? He's asking people arguing in the chat with each other. Matthew, nice to see you. Daniel, nice to see you. Sosa, nice to see you, bro, as well. Keep smashing the likes, though, guys. Please do that. We've only got 31 likes. We should be on 50. We've got nearly 90 people here right now. Let's get this up over 50 likes, guys, as quickly as possible. Surfs, big up to you as well. Thank you, Strip Bear, if you're congratulating me as well. Thank you. Yeah, I have moved house. I'm in my new house. It's not ready yet. This is a little idea of how it may look. Lots more to be done with the wall and et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, big up to you all. Right, you want to talk transfers, right? That's why you are all here. You want to talk transfers. You want to talk players. I'm going to give you my personal opinions on the players linked to Chelsea, how they fit into Thomas Tuchel's system, how I feel they fit into Thomas Tuchel's system. This, again, is just my way of feeling, my preference, my idea of what I feel would be best for the football club. Not to say that I'm right. So people, guys, if you don't like what I am going to say because you like certain players to come to the football club, I'm cool with that. But just don't go too crazy in the chat. Yeah, we'll go through it. But I have got a FIFA squad builder. I haven't started thinking about doing it, but maybe we'll do that at the end. I will open up the lines as well because I want to get the panel on. I'm not spoken to the panel in a bit, but we have to fly through. I want to fly through this stuff. Right, let's just quickly 2 seconds do something. Over 120 of you guys here, though. Big up to every single one of you guys as well. GNA TV will be going through all of the transfer break-ins over the transfer window, as we always do, like last year. And we're going to start with, where we're going to start. I'll tell you where we'll start. We're going to start off a real quick one to talk about, all right? Fabrizio Romano was talking about Marcus Alonso, and this is an out. So we ain't started with the ins. We'll get to the ins in a bit. We're going to start with the outs. Get out. Leave the club. Fabrizio Romano's come out and said that the board knows since the long time that Marcos Alonso wants to leave in the summer. They're prepared to let him go. Discussions on the fee will take place soon. Marcos has a verbal agreement on personal terms with Barcelona since April, up to the clubs. Well, it seems like Chelsea Football Club want him to go. It seems like Barcelona want him. The biggest issue with this Marcos Alonso saga is, what are Chelsea going to agree to sell him for? Because I don't feel Barcelona are going to spend stupid money for him. Now, there's talks around maybe 20 odd million. Take it. We're at a point now, and I keep saying this as a football club, where we need to move forward, and the new project, new philosophy under these new owners needs to start in this summer window. We need to see the idea. We need to see the philosophy and the understanding. But I need to see that Tuchel's getting backed. We need to see the Tuchel's getting backed. And we need to see players that don't want to be here, that don't want to play for this football club, also forced out of the club. And the board has to do that. And Marina Graverskaya, as much as she likes to negotiate, as much as she likes to drag things out, she's got a big job on her hands in this summer. You know, she has to really, really, really flush out this squad. Bring down that wage bill. That wage bill is ridiculous. You know, there's a lot that needs to be done. Big up to Lee Bell in the house. Love that picture, Lee Bell. I love that picture. Love it. Glad to see you're back. I'm back, bro. I'm back. I'm getting there slowly but surely. I'm back. I am back for the transfer, just before the transfer window opens up, which is perfect, because that means all we're going to be doing is talking transfers on here. Sell Alonso for 20-25 million. I agree, bro. You know, we get 20-25 million for Alonso. That's great news. Get him out the door and let's move on as a football club and try and grow the areas that we need to grow. Now, guys, if you are new here, please subscribe to the channel. There's nearly 200 of you here, 22 minutes in. So much to talk about in regards to transfers. So stay tuned with the channel. But on Marcos Alonso, we all know as a fan base, he needs to go. There's not much more really to say other than Chelsea Football Club. Get this done. Get this done. I don't want to see Marcos Alonso in a Chelsea shirt next season. I'm sorry. If anyone's got a Marcos Alonso agenda in the chat, I'm sorry, but not sorry. And that is literally what I'm going to say there. So we move away from that. And we're going to talk about the saga that's been a saga since the beginning of the season. Romelu Lukaku. Romelu Lukaku is what we're going to be talking about. Lee's listed out all of these players that he wants to leave. Rudiger, Dave, Christensen, Alonso, Sarr, Jorginho, Kante, Barclay, Loftus-Cheek, Ziyech, Werner, Kepa, Lukaku, and Cho. Now, do you know what, Lee? I would probably agree with most of this comment, but the only one or maybe two disagree with you on is Jorginho and Kante, because I feel that either one or the other will go. I don't think both will go. I think you'll lose either or. Loftus-Cheek, I feel that. I hear that. But if I had to choose between Loftus-Cheek or Callum Hudson-Odoi, and again, this is going to piss off the Chohos if you're in the chat. I'm sorry if I piss you off today, because it's transfer talk and it's going to start pissing people off. Cho needs a loan. That goes with his name, doesn't it? Cho needs a loan. Cho needs a loan. Loftus-Cheek could potentially stay, heavily dependent on what we do with the midfield and how much depth we have. But if we're going to keep Loftus-Cheek, we have to keep playing him in a position that suits him. We can't be playing him as a 6. No more 6s for Loftus-Cheek. No more playing as an out-and-out wing-back. I know some of you guys like the wing-back thing. Not me. I do not want to see the wing-back of Ruben Loftus-Cheek in my squad. Big up to Ali Bin as well. Nice to see a class Chelsea content creator keeping up the engagement. Thank you, brother. I will be here throughout the whole summer window. Trust me. For Chelsea stuff, we will be talking everything here. The breaking news, the new signings, the players going out. We do it all here. We do it all here. If you're new, subscribe, because there's nearly 300 of you guys here, and I'm sure that everyone that's watching this right now is not subscribed. subscribe and that little thumb below, hit that and hit the bell notification button because the bell notification button will let you guys know when I am live. Choaphobia. Oh, Rodrigo. Anyway, I'm going off track. I want to talk about Romelu Lukaku, the Romelu Lukaku, because he has been a saga in himself throughout since the beginning of when he came to Chelsea. It was a saga just getting him to the football club in theory when you think about it. And, the big talks are this. Romelu Lukaku, his lawyer, is meeting with Inter Milan to discuss a possible loan deal back to Italy this summer. Now, what do we know about Romelu Lukaku up to this point? We know that he don't fit our system. We know that Thomas Tuchel doesn't want to adapt his style and his philosophy to work for Romelu Lukaku. We know Romelu Lukaku doesn't want to adapt himself to the way that Thomas Tuchel wants to play and his style of playing. Some people still feel that with Romelu Lukaku, it is important that we play to his strengths. That, unfortunately, my friend, is not going to happen. Thomas Tuchel, throughout his career, has bought the right profile players, identity of players that fit his system. And in his system, I've been telling you guys throughout the whole season, since I've had GNA TV, just over a year now. Or ever since Thomas Tuchel's been in, shall we say, which has not been, it's been a little shorter than that. But I've been telling you guys that Thomas Tuchel's system needs players that are versatile, that can move, that have energy, and make runs. This guy here told the football club that he can do all of this. This guy here, before he even put a Chelsea shirt on, had this shirt up like that and commented saying, that he could, he could actually, I'm going to find that. Someone said, I think Beck sent me it. You know what? I wasn't going to do it, but I'm going to do it now because it's funny. It's funny, isn't it? Let's bring it up. So, you just want to see what Romelu Lukaku promised Chelsea Football Club? Let's show you very quickly. What did Romelu Lukaku promise Chelsea when he first came to this football club? Here it is. Lukaku on Tuchel. If he wants me to be a focal point, or if he wants me to attack the spaces in behind, I can do it. The 2 years in Italy helped me master all the facets of the game for a striker, and now I am ready. So he told us before, and he was holding the shirt there, he told us, and in an interview, that he'd improved his game in Italy. I, along with some other people, were very reserved in him being able to do that. He was also the one that put himself on the brackets of Mr. Robert Lewandowski, Karim Benzema, Harry Kane. All of these well-known great strikers that we are very aware of. This was the guy that said that he should be in them names. Do I blame Chelsea fans for feeling excited? Do I blame it when you read things like this and then you're being told, that and you hear him saying that he deserves to be fitted in the best? Last season, when he was at Inter Milan, or the season before that, when he was at Inter Milan, he was very good. And he was one of the best strikers in Europe. 100%. Based on form. And he suited the system. He suited the system tremendously. But unfortunately, and I keep telling people this, he does not suit this system. He does not suit Thomas Tuchel. And it's now come to a point where it's a dead-end road. I do not feel that Romelu Lukaku staying at Chelsea works or benefits not only him, but benefits Chelsea Football Club. It just doesn't. Because we're going to have the same issue. Thomas Tuchel is not going to change the complete philosophy of this team to get the best out of him. He is not going to be able to adapt his game to what we want. You've got two balls, bouncy exercise balls. You've got two of them just bouncing off each other at the moment. It doesn't work. And we have to get to that point. Big up to Team One with the donation. How do Klopp/Pep do with our attackers? How do with our attackers? Better or worse? Good question. I don't know is the answer to that. I don't think Pep or Klopp would adapt their game for a player that doesn't fit their system. I think they would do exactly what Tuchel does. What I think they do very well, and we've seen it over the years, is they buy players that fit their idea, their system, what they want. You know, that is the building. I'm about to Kai in the house. No, but listen, Kai, I've got to go through it all. I'm starting on Lukaku and then we're going through everyone because there's been a lot of talks about him today. But big up to yourself, man. Nice to see you in the chat. I know a lot of people are talking as well. Over nearly 400 of you guys here. Big up to every single one of you guys. So moving away from that, because I had to bring that up. Because let's be serious. We were told that's what he can do. We were told. You know, we were told this is what he could do. So let's go into some more comments in and around Romelu Lukaku, because some people feel that he's going to stay. Some people feel that he may go. This is where we're at currently at the moment. Fabrizio Romano comes out saying the Interboard will meet Romelu Lukaku's lawyer in the coming hours. The Belgian striker dreams of returning to Inter, but nothing has been discussed yet with Chelsea on formula, salary, and more. It's a really complicated deal as Chelsea paid 115 million euros for Rom in 1 year. The biggest issue that we have with Romelu Lukaku is the money. You know, paying him 300 plus a week, buying him for 100 million sterling, giving him the contract that he's been given, 3-4 years, I think it is. Only having him for 1 year is correct. You know, that you know, from Chelsea's standpoint, it's an issue. But if you're Todd Boehly coming in to this new football club, knowing that you haven't bought him in, knowing that Roman Abramovich's last signing was Romelu Lukaku, and Thomas Tuchel, and let's just say, this is hindsight. We don't know if this is true, but if Thomas Tuchel wants him or doesn't want him, we're not sure. We've heard some comments in the way. Let's just say Thomas Tuchel says, I don't think it works. But Romelu Lukaku on the other side is saying, if we're not going to change the way you play, then there's no point in you being here because then you're not going to benefit from me. If I'm the board, and I don't care Marina Gravska, I don't care with Scott McCaughey and all these guys that are, you know, Bruce Buck, if he's not going to work, then he needs to go. If he's not going to work, then he needs to leave this football club. And if I'm Todd Boehly, one of the biggest statements that you could make right now, if a manager is not sure or not comfortable with a certain player in the team, doesn't matter how much you're paying them or what the club could potentially lose. In theory, he doesn't lose in pocket. Let's be serious, because he's just took over. You then get it done. And there's talks about how can it be done. There's talks about how could he possibly leave this football club. And we're going to talk about that now. I'll bring it up for you guys. This is one of the things that they were talking, Nizar Cancelo was talking about. His talks have centered around Romelu Lukaku taking a 40% pay cut, with hashtag Chelsea likely to ask for a loan fee of around 12 million, which would be problematic. Well, Romelu Lukaku is, if Romelu Lukaku is willing to take a 40% pay cut, that tells me he's done. That tells me, from the player's standpoint, he don't want to be here. I think we have to understand that. You know, big up to Bex in the house as well. Guys, it's over 400, nearly 450 of you guys here. Big up to every single one of you guys that's in the chat at the moment. Make sure you're smashing the like button, subscribing. Subscribe if you're new to GNA TV, because we will be breaking and going through all the transfer news that we currently have available, or what we learn over Twitter, discussing it. Panel to come on shortly as well. We'll bring on the panel very shortly. Sorry, I'm not reading the chat. Usually I do right now, but I'm trying to get through all this stuff. Big up to Rebecca's in the house as well. Big numbers at the moment. 442 of you guys here. One of the biggest shows that we've done at the moment. Rome is overhyped. There's talks about Basuma. And again, someone that we can talk about a bit later. But from my perspective, just to cut this long story short, I keep saying it. He wants to take a pay cut. And if that's true, and he doesn't want to be it, why are we wasting time? Chelsea want 12 million. If Inter Milan want to give 8 or 9, take it. Do not make a player be forced to stay here if they don't want to be here. Do not make a player play for a manager who maybe doesn't feel he fits his system. You're then asking a manager and a player to make something happen that can't happen because they don't want to be it. And this is why I'm saying the board, Todd Boehly, more specifically, has to get stuck in, has to get involved, has to take control. Forget the way that we worked under Roman. The Roman era, people, as we know from this point, is done. What we need to do now, if I'm Todd Boehly, is set some statements, make some great signings, bring in some kid players, show you around, but also show that you're backing the manager. And look, if Romelu Lukaku does want to stay, and this is rubbish, and Thomas Tuchel wants him here, fine. But providing that's what Thomas Tuchel wants. You know, this is why I keep saying Thomas Tuchel. He needs to be backed. He needs to be backed massively. And then we also have this as well from Absolute Chelsea as well. Oh, lovely. Okay, we'll go and watch the Football Terrace later on at 4 o'clock, guys. Make sure you check out the Football Terrace as well. I am going to try and get back on there soon. It's been a while since I've been on the Football Terrace. But yeah, guys, make sure we're subscribing, getting the likes up. How many likes have we got? Only 76 likes. 76 likes. There's over nearly 500 of you guys here. Let's get this over 100 likes, guys. We should be on our way to 200 likes. Please get these likes up. Now, look at the thumb button. Every single person, that little thumb below me, you see that little thumb? Hit it. Hit it. Hit it. Let's see how quick we can get this up to 200 likes, guys. Big up to every single one of you. Subscribe as well if you're new to the channel. Now, we are finishing off on Romelu Lukaku, but there's this last comment here from Republica. I don't know who they are. Don't ask me. They've got 3.3 million followers. I couldn't even tell you where they're from. Chelsea would only let Romelu Lukaku depart to Inter Milan on a paid loan worth 20 million with a 70 million purchase obligation. So Chelsea are only willing to lose 30 million euros. I feel to get rid of Romelu Lukaku, for the Romelu Lukaku to leave this football club and for Chelsea to get a deal done, we will need to go lower than that. We will need to look in and around about 65 million euros to 60 million euros, I feel, because that will be pushing around 50 in sterling, maybe a bit more. But that's where we need to be. That's where we need to be if we're going to allow him to go. We need to just accept the fact that we're going to have to cut our losses. We can't be sitting here worrying about who stays, who goes, etc., etc. You know, like if he wants to go and he wants to leave this football club, then we need to allow him to leave. End of. There's nothing more to say, and we need to cut our losses, move forward, and take advantage of what is, a big summer because of the players that are available, the players that you can get for free and offer decent wages for. There are so many players to go for, and we're going to move away from Romelu Lukaku, because that's going to continue. We are still staying on the players going out at the moment. And one of them that's popping up at the moment is Armando Broja, who we know has returned on pre-season, or has returned for pre-season for Chelsea. He wants a spot in Tuchel's squad, but he'll have to impress in pre-season. Is probably why Thomas Tuchel wants him and Gallagher, maybe some others back in the team to see if they're ready, see if they're ready for the bench. However, he might be pushed for a quick decision with interest from AC Milan, Inter, Napoli, Newcastle, West Ham, and Southampton. The thing with the Broja thing is that I think he had a very good season at Southampton. Do I feel that we need backup from the striking options? Yes. Do I think we should keep him? If you keep him, then he needs to accept that he's not going to be playing as many games as he has been playing. However, we do play in a lot of competitions. We do play in 4 competitions a season. If you can offer him at least a good 15, 20 games and maybe coming off the bench in certain games, I feel we will stay. He needs to be playing around experience. He needs to be playing around quality. And, doing that at Chelsea could work. The issue with Broja is what are Chelsea doing with the forward line? Is Lukaku staying? Is Werner going? Is Robert Lewandowski an option? Is a striker option completely out the window? Should we be looking at more inverted wingers? Should we be looking at the likes of Dembele, Rafinha? Should we be looking at, them type of players and trying to find players that can not only create, but score, a bit like the way Liverpool are with Mane and Salah, or Man City to a degree. Obviously, they've gone and got Haaland this season, so they're going down a different route. It just all depends on what Thomas Tuchel wants, and how he feels he can fit an actual number 9 striker in. Now, I do feel a number 9 could work for Chelsea, but it has to be of the right profile. It can't be a typical number 9, someone that's going to hold himself in the box. He has to work hard off the ball. He has to, he has to shut down. He has to hold the ball well. He has to come deep to link up the play. He has to be in the box as soon as that ball comes in and be an option. He has to take his chances when we create them, because something that we do struggle to do sometimes is correct. So there's a lot that is required from that number 9. And there's not many strikers in world football that can do that number 9 style of role. Benzema being one of them, 100% sure. Harry Kane, yeah, people would argue that. Robert Lewandowski, some people still feel that Bundesliga tax is a big issue, but I just feel that with Robert Lewandowski, the elite striker he is, the numbers of goals scored on a consistent basis, he will do that everywhere. I don't think Robert Lewandowski will have that issue. You have to think of the and when I've already listed 3. We haven't even spoke about the likes of someone like Nkunku, who has been linked to this football club, and we're going to talk about him in a bit. Do I like Nkunku? We'll get to him in a bit. But does Broja get a chance in this team? As squad depth, potentially, but he's going to have a good preseason, and it's going to depend on how many people go out the door from the forward line. How many of these people will Wins get rid of? Does Ziyech go? Does Werner go? Does Cho go on loan? Does Lukaku stay? Does he go? Mount and Havertz, I think, will definitely stay. So we'll see. We will see what happens. Sorry, guys, I'm not reading the chat at the moment, but make sure that we're all smashing the likes, guys. We've got 114 likes. Let's get this to 150 likes, guys. Big up to Acknowledge Me. Nice to see you. I've acknowledged you, mate. Callum, nice to see you in the house. What number world-class number 9 would go to Chelsea? You're right. Who would want to take that risk? Who would want to come to a team that struggles to get the best out of number 9s? Are we cursed? Are we cursed? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Yeah, guys, hit the like button. Seppers, nice to see you, bro. Nice to see you. What does Tuchel want? There's doesn't seem to be a coherent plan this summer. Windows outside of defenders. I don't like the reports that he's happy with Emerson and Aspie, which is a lack of ambition. It is a lack of ambition, but at the same time, it's a thing of we have to wait and see. And there's a lot of talks, and we're going to talk about the players that could potentially be coming in. There's a lot of talks around players that are linked to Chelsea Football Club that could come to this football club. But I just don't see that happening. I don't see them all happening. I think a couple could happen. But I won't rule out the idea that the fact that we may bring in a good 5 players, we could do. But we have to be smart with it. It's the smartness that we need to have in our summer window. It's not about going out and spending the big bucks for the big name players anymore. It's about being smart with your money and finding players that actually fit to what Tuchel wants, or what Tuchel wants to see, or wants to do moving forward. This ain't just for one season, guys. I'm talking about for a good 3-4 seasons. The project, the philosophy, the build towards, the understanding, the number of finals that Thomas Tuchel has taken this football club to already should already tell you that if you give him the tools that he needs, we could really have a successful manager on our hands, a manager that could be more successful than Jose Mourinho. Could happen. It could happen, but it's going to be on the board. It's going to be on the owners, and it's going to be about them getting it right. QNTV, big up to you, bro, as well. Jem, we need a director of football. Yes, but I keep telling you guys this as well. Marina Graviskaya is not going anywhere short term. Unfortunately, we need her right now. We're in a position where we need to get things done. We can't have Marina Graviskaya leaving now to bring in a sporting director. What I would do is give her the orders of what's required from, i.e. Tuchel and Todd Boehly, what's required, get her to get on with it, maybe change her mindset in the way that she deals with things and get her to work in the way of the new owners and what they want and get things done. Get things done. Seppers, big up to you. Arsenal are rubbish. I agree with you on that one, bro. I agree with you on that one. Right. Let's talk about one more person that could potentially be on his way because Maurizio Sarri, the old Chelsea boss, is interested in Ruben Loftus-Cheek and has been interested in Ruben Loftus-Cheek for a long time. He plans to talk to Ruben Loftus-Cheek personally to try and convince him to move to Lazio this summer. It is believed the midfielder would cost around 20 million euros. Now, that's nothing when you think about it. But from a Chelsea perspective, again, letting him go, is it a problem really? No, some people want him to stay. Don't get me wrong. Some people feel that Ruben Loftus-Cheek suits Chelsea in the long run and he's good. We are going to talk Dembele. We're going to come to that in a bit. We're coming to the outs. Just finishing off the outs, and then we're going to talk about the ins. So stay tuned. Keep hitting the likes. And we're going to also open up the lines as well very soon. Do I feel Ruben Loftus-Cheek has a future at Chelsea? Again, I'll cut it short. Heavily dependent on who stays and who stays and who goes, and who we bring in. Where do we strengthen? Because it might be a case of that we strengthen the defense, and then we just go straight to the forward line because Lukaku goes, Werner goes, Ziyech doesn't want to be here, Pulisic's not up, whatever. Maybe it becomes that we concentrate on the forward line and we concentrate on the defense, but not really the midfield. But what we do with the midfield is we bring back Conor Gallagher's, for example. We bring him into the team. We get rid of the Ross Barkley's next. I think we have to do that. But then it's what do you do with Jorginho and Kante? And if you're going to let Jorginho and Kante leave, or one of them leave, I think either or has to go, not both, then you're going to have to bring in someone. And Kamara, who's gone to Aston Villa, would have been perfect as just a DM, a backup DM there. Why we didn't make that option, I do not know. It's a madness. It's an absolute madness. Big up to CFC Stephen in the house as well. Josh, the Arsenal fan here as well. So Ruben staying at Chelsea. Will he stay? Will he go? Let's wait and see what happens with that. Now, I want to move into the ins. I want to talk a little bit about the ins. Yeah, who could potentially be coming to Chelsea Football Club? Well, Simon Phillips has commented a tweet from Fabrizio Romano and Jacob Steinberg that says that Jonathan David, Darwin Núñez, Usama Dembele are all Chelsea targets. Tuchel would love Robert Lewandowski, but the Bayern Munich striker wants to join Barcelona. Now, we know that Robert Lewandowski wants to leave. Do I feel that Robert Lewandowski would be great for Chelsea? Potentially. If Tuchel wanted him, do I think we should get him? Yeah. Would I be upset if we didn't? No. But providing we got the players that he wants, the players that he wants, that he feels he can work with to kick forward. Jonathan David is an interesting one because I haven't watched tons of him. Good player. But I feel that we're still going to have the same issue in regards to adapting and the unknown is what I'm saying. The experience is not there, The experience is not there. We'll come back to the Pies' comments there. As I'm talking to you guys, I'm also live on Twitter going through some if there's any break-ins for me to put forward to you guys as well. So sorry if I kind of go from one to another. What's this? Cromwell be just. I didn't even read that, but anyway, yeah. So I'm not sure on Jonathan David. Darwin Núñez is someone that gets spoken about exactly. Some people are even laughing at the fact of Jonathan David. No to Núñez and David. Yes to Lewandowski and Dembele. And look, for me, that Núñez and David are a no for me personally. Players that are very young, not a long track record, not a lot of players that we can look back and go, they've done it here, they've done it there. Like, that worries me a little bit, So for the money that they're asking for, I would want to stay away from them. I'd want to stay away from them. Oh, thank you. Jester, thank you very much, brother. Thank you very much. Thank you, bro. We'll come to that in a second. We've got some breaking news, actually, from Sky Sports as well, on a player coming to Chelsea. So that will come up next, actually, before we go into that. Let's just finish off this. Yeah, so Darwin Núñez, Jonathan Davids is a no for me. Ousmane Dembele is someone that we've been talking about for a while. He is leaving Barcelona, and it seems that Thomas Tuchel is very hungry for him. Now, we're going to talk more Dembele in a bit, because I have got some other bits on him that I want to talk about in terms. But Robert Lewandowski would be a great option. Does Barcelona get him? Probably. Why? Because of the name. Maybe because he wants to play in the Spanish league and whatever. Fine. He's 34, 35 years old. You know, I do feel that if the Tuchel does want him, Chelsea should try him. But at the same time, you can't go and get Robert Lewandowski if you don't get rid of Lukaku. So if Lukaku goes, then it's open. It's an open spot, potentially. He wouldn't be a long-term solution, but he would bring the experience and he would definitely finish. You know, he would definitely finish his chances. So that's that. That's that. So let's move away from that. We're going to go to some breaking now, thanks to Jester, who sent this on to me as well. So we have got a comment here. No, can't see it. There it is. A comment here from Sky Sports, basically saying right here from the official Sky Sports that Chelsea have a verbal agreement already in place with Sevilla defender Jules Kounde, with the Spanish club preferring a quick deal as they aim to balance their books. Yep, we already know this. I'm sure they already said. Did we not already speak about this already? Not ready, but we saw this news a couple of weeks ago. The verbal agreement's there with Jules Kounde. PSG's Kimpembe is part of the shortlist of central defensive options that Thomas Tuchel prefers. Jimenez and right back Josko Govidal are also among these. Now, look, we'll cut it quick short with Jules Kounde. Jules Kounde is the type of player that Chelsea needs to bring into this team. If you have known me long enough, you know how I feel when it comes to Jules Kounde. He will fit the idea and the philosophy of what Tuchel wants. He's very young. He's still very young. He's a very good young player. His stats are better than what people think. I find it very funny when people come out and go, he's small. He's small. You do not watch football then. I mean, you don't watch him, sorry. You do not watch him play. Because if you watched him play, you would know that he has more than 180 aerial duels won. More aerial duels won than lost in the La Liga. Secondly, we play in a Premier League without Burnley FC anymore, which means hit and hope, hit and inshallah, into the box, isn't going to happen as much anymore. You're not going to have your typical Burnleys or Stoke Cities flying them long balls up the air. And let me tell you something now. He has a spring. This boy can jump. He's the same height as Reece James. He's not as small as people think he is. Like, people need to calm down when it comes to Kounde. This boy is... All I'm going to say, and I'll keep it short because we need to see him. And I am quite excited for Jules Kounde. He's one player that I'm very excited to come at Chelsea. But under Tuchel, in what Tuchel's done with average players, let's just go back, rewind. What we've seen Tuchel do with average players coming to this football club, to then being given a player that is not average, is good, and then can be grown under Thomas Tuchel, is exciting. That's all I'm going to say to you guys. It's an exciting time for us because he will get better under Tuchel and he will suit the way Tuchel plays and he will love the more ball possession, which is what we have, and is his strengths. Ball possession is one of his biggest strengths. You know, his distribution out is very, very good. He scores a goal here and there. He's got the ability to do that. A very good player. I'm looking forward to Jules Kounde. Get that done. For me, it has to be one of the first players that come through the door for me, personally. It has to be one of the first players that come through the door for Jules Kounde. So there we go. Jules Kounde news. Looks like it's going to be wrapped up hopefully soon as well. We will be breaking that as soon as we are aware of it as well. So we're going to go on to this comment here, and it's about the forward line. Nkunku. Now, the Daily Mail have came out saying that Chelsea could be the first club to bid 50 million for 50 million rated star Christopher Nkunku. Now, Nkunku is 24 years old. Okay, he's 24 years old. And he is a player that, again, I followed, watched, but not watched as much as like Jules Kounde, for example, over the sort of coming years. But my question to you guys is: would a player like Nkunku interest you, or are you worried about the Bundesliga tax? Are you worried about that element of it? Because he has registered 20 goals and 15 assists in the Bundesliga across this season, which is an impressive number, just in the Bundesliga as well. Obviously, they play cup games and stuff as well. So the German club don't hold any intentions of selling Nkunku. But apparently, people that are close to Nkunku have told El Equip that he is looking for a move. He's looking for the idea of going elsewhere. Whether it's true or not, we have to wait and see. Would he suit Thomas Tuchel's system? And this is why we're talking about these players individually. I feel that he's, if you haven't watched him enough, go and watch him, because he was a winger originally. He was a winger. And what he's done this season, which is different to the seasons before for me, is that he now can score goals more consistently. And to be a forward, but not a forward, a bit like the Liverpool style with Mane and Salah, where they come in sort of an in-forward, like an inverted forward, which is what you could use him for. But he could also play the ball up front. I think that's the type of profile player that could work in the system of Thomas Tuchel. Forget the Bundesliga tax. Forget the worries of if it would work or not work. Some people are reverting to Timo Werner. Timo Werner technically is nowhere near the same as Nkunku. He technically isn't. Nkunku is technically better. He can dribble around players. He has the pace. He works hard for the team. And he also can finish these chances. No, look, anything more than that makes no sense for me. But could he work in this system is what I'm talking about. Yes, he could. He could definitely work in this Thomas Tuchel system, I feel. I don't think we should get Núñez, though, Lee. I really don't. Nkunku is an upgrade on Havertz, is what Zipperstan's saying. That's how he feels. No, if he's as successful as Timo, he will be a legend. So Timo Werner with his comments as well. Big up to you. Going to make sure I haven't missed any. Crown Jewels, baby. Big up to Bex. He says, Nkunku will be very naughty. I think Nkunku's not a bad shout, providing you get him for the right price. I would not go and spend stupid money on a player like Nkunku. I wouldn't do it. Most of his goals are similar to Werner's in the Bundesliga. That King Kai, the only thing I would say, bro, is that, yeah, you may be right in terms of the pace behind one-on-one with the goalies scoring, but he's technically better with the ball than Timo Werner. Timo Werner is not good with the ball at his feet. He generally isn't. He just never looks comfortable, Isco, that's the first I've heard of that one. I wasn't prepared for an Isco discussion. But yeah, look, will it happen? Will it won't? Will he stay at RB Leipzig potentially? Do I think he could be a good option for Thomas Tuchel? I do. Personally, I do. I think he could suit the way that we play moving forward. But Thomas Tuchel's going to have to want him. He's going to have to want him. Yeah, so that's Nkunku for you guys. That is Nkunku. I am going to open up the lines very shortly. Very, very shortly. But we're just going to quickly finish off on two more things and then we're going to get into it. One of them being Hakimi. Because apparently now, the Athletic UK are saying that Chelsea are monitoring Hakimi. That allows James to move into back three. Sergio Dest is also on the radar if they decide. So I'm hearing, and I did read on Twitter, that apparently Hakimi isn't as happy at PSG as he thought he would be. Well, if you decided not to follow the money and just come to Chelsea, then maybe you would have been a little bit more happier, mate. Maybe you wouldn't have had as many problems this season actually having a versatile wing-back to cover for Reece James when he was injured. Maybe we could have played Reece James more as a free with Hakimi off as a wing-back. Can you imagine James and Hakimi? That'd be beautiful. Or just even having backup for that area. Do I think Chelsea will go and get Hakimi? No, because to do that and price him from PSG, bear in mind this is PSG, same thing as the Romelu Lukaku saga. They've only had Hakimi for 1 year. They are not going to cut their losses. they are going to want serious money. And they spent, I think, around 60 odd million, didn't they? Or 50 million on Hakimi to PSG. So for me, I don't see Hakimi happening. Yeah, I agree, Gary. He's got stupid wages. It's just not worth it. It's just generally not worth that for me as well. Chelsea fan, I'm good, bro. You talking to each other. Big up to you. Lukaku's a fool. We spoke about Lukaku, didn't you? You missed that conversation, bro. Missed that conversation. Ousmane Dembele is obviously he was the main picture of our topics today, and the more the reason why is because it seems like it's becoming more of a thing that Dembele wants to leave Barcelona, and Tuchel is very, very interested in him. He's eager to add Dembele to his squad, with the Blues ready to improve the terms of their contract offer if necessary. Seems like they're really going to be going hammer and tong to get him done. Now, Dembele is still young. Dembele is very hugely talented. Would he fit our system? Yes. And why? Because Thomas Tuchel has already played how I had Dembele under him. And if you go and look at the stats of Dembele under Tuchel at Dortmund in his time, you will see a player that thrived. The issue with Dembele, and the even big issue with Dembele, is his injury list. He does have a horrendous injury list. And at Chelsea Football Club, you're going to play a lot of football. He would have to be heavily rotated. Temperance is what I was saying. He would have to be heavily rotated. We would have to make sure the rotation with him was good. Now, this goes back to having forward line where you've got enough backup. There's no point in getting rid of Ziyech and Werner to just have Dembele and then relying on him to play in every game this season, because then you're going to force the guy to get injured. Not going to happen. I don't mind Dembele at this team. I would back the idea of Dembele playing for Chelsea Football Club. But we do need to look at the depth, not only just in the defence, but in the forward line, the midfield. We need depth. Dembele, I would go for. I would. But the fact that he's on a free, it's his wages. Fine. Sort the wages out. Sort the wages out. What is this you sent me? I ain't going to read that, mate. That looks like some fake sauce, man. I ain't going to bring that up to these guys. I'm not going to do it. Still over 430 of you guys here, though. Let's get these likes up, guys, if we can. Dembele will suit Chelsea, and we should look at the idea of bringing him in if Tuchel wants him. Now, there is one player, and obviously we need to talk about their mega signings. Who's going to be the big name signing at Chelsea? And there is one player that Chelsea fans keep talking about a lot. A lot. And we're going to talk about him. We are going to talk about him now, actually. Let's get into it. Before we go to Pius' comment as well. And then we're going to open up the lines and get you guys in, all right? This guy. Now, there's over 400 of you guys here. Before I tell you what I feel about this guy, short answer in the chat. Just let me know. Are you a fan of Neymar coming to Chelsea? Yes or no? And while you're doing it, please smash the likes as well. I want to know. I'm genuinely interested to see if you guys are interested in the fact of Neymar playing for Chelsea Football Club. And I'm going to go through them all. Declan Rice. I'm not spoken about Declan Rice, if fair, Andreas, because it's boring. You know what I mean? Like, we know what the scenario is. I do not want Neymar, is what Dinishan's saying. Thank you, TJ Gay Gamer. Thank you, bro. We're not there yet. This is all going to be decorated. I'm going to have pictures of Chelsea on photos there. These kits are going to be stuck around on Steve. It's going to be proper. I want to do it properly at a later stage. So we're going to have a nice little hub going into the season, going through the transfers. It's going to be a good space for me to do. No chance is what he's saying here. Yes. No. Yes. No. I knew this would divide the fan base. Yes. No. Don't want Neymar. No. Yes. Blimey, no. anymore. Fair enough. No. Could come. Tuchel loves him. No. Yes. No. Yes. It's just so mixed. No. He is. CJ, that is the best answer to that. He is like Marmite. He is generally like Marmite. He is generally like Marmite. No. For wages and transfer fee. No is what Matty's saying. Yes. You think Lewandowski will come Chelsea? No. Unfortunately, Carl, I don't. It seems like he wants Barcelona. Yes. Uncle Jester. No. You said yes as well. He wants him. Fuck. Yes, yes. I know Johnny wants him as well. Bex, don't do that. Don't you do that. I know you don't want him. I know you do not want him. So, yeah. Why would Neymar leave for it? Right. So, I'm going to tell you my thoughts. Yeah? Jokes, you're deluded for wanting Neymar. Why do you want Neymar? Like, how? How do you... I don't get this, the idea. Look, we have been sitting here stressing about not going for the big names, for the big money, for the big wages. This is what this is. This is what it is. Neymar is a good top player. But Neymar is 31 years old. How much do you think he is going to want to come to this football club? Now, I'm thinking from a logical aspect. I do not want a player like Neymar at my club on the same wage as Romelu Lukaku, yeah, and playing with the current forward line that we have. The current forward line that we have at the moment screams Eden Hazard moments, which means that Neymar comes in, we give him the ball, and then he's just going to try and take everyone on and do things himself. And in this league, we know that it's the best league in the world. We know it's the toughest league in the world. We know he ain't going to have that time on the ball. Not even let alone the space. Don't get me wrong. He can dribble. He can take players on. Cool. But it's a completely different league. It is a completely different league. I do not get any Chelsea fan. I'm sorry. There is no logical... Look, I want to say it like this. There is no logical sense in bringing Neymar to Chelsea. There is nothing. There's nothing that you can sit here and tell me which makes Neymar work in Chelsea. It is damn right stupid and pathetic that we're even looking at players like Neymar, who is not even in his, prime years anymore. He's on his way up. No, he's not going down. He's on his way up. Who's going to come in and play with this current squad? Ross Barkley. Sorry, not Ross Barkley. Werner, Ziyech. Like, come on, man. No, there is nothing. There is not. It's just damn right stupid, and I do agree. I don't think he's as good as people. I think he's good, top player, but I don't think. Look, I want to say this. Yeah, again, this is my thoughts. I would rather have a prime Eden Hazard than have a prime Neymar. There you go. I said it. I would all day pick a prime Eden Hazard over a prime Neymar, and that ain't just because Hazard played for Chelsea. I think Hazard for me, has always been better than Neymar. And, I just feel that he's a good player, but I just feel he's overrated. I think he's heavily overrated at this point. He's been playing in the French league for how many years now? You want him to come to Chelsea with a stupid wage. You're going to look for his one more big contract like Rudiger, and you want to go and burst our wage structure, our wage amount that Todd Boehly's given us on Neymar, when we know that we need to revitalise the squad, when we need to work this squad from top to bottom. And Neymar being put into this team is not making Chelsea a better team. I'm telling you now, there are too many areas that need to be addressed. Too many areas. So this thing of Neymar coming to Chelsea, we have to get this out of our heads. You can have that fantasy dream where and that's cool. If Neymar is your thing, cool. We all have our thing, our favourite players that we like. That's cool. But I'm looking at it from a logical aspect. As a logical aspect from a Chelsea standpoint. And I always do that. I always do this with my football club. Look at it from a logical standpoint. Neymar does not suit Chelsea. Chelsea bringing Neymar in does not solve our issues, let alone bursting our wage structure and fees that we're going to have to pay to get him away from a team that's just going to zap us for him if we were interested in him. It's just not worth it. I don't get it. I don't get why we're concentrating on just getting one, but get away from the Roman big name era, big name players for big money. Have we not learned what happens with these big name players that come at a later age to Chelsea Football Club? They do not work. Let's get young prospects, build a project, give a couple of years to do that. Let's back the manager and give him the time to do that. But give him the right players to grow these players so that when they get into their prime, they're formidable. They're so good under him because they've worked as a squad for a number of years or so, or years. Not just bring in these fucking old players like him who want to do samba skills all the time and fall on the floor. He'll be the most failed player in the Premier League. That's what he'll be. That's what he will be. He'll just be the foul player in the Premier League. I'm not having it. Some standpoints of Neymar and Hazard think logically and not in your feelings. What are you talking about? Same standpoint with Neymar and Hazard. He must be talking to someone in the chat. I know he's talking to there. But yeah, anyway, I had to get off my chest. No to Neymar. No, we don't burst our transfer budget just to bring him in. No, we don't ruin our wage structure. Yeah. I want players for the future. I want players that are going to be here for a good couple of years that want to play for Tuchel that suit his system. Yes, he had a good record under Thomas Tuchel in the French league, but the Premier League is a different beast. And at 31 years old, I do not trust the idea of Neymar coming to Chelsea and doing that. Dinisham with a donation says, Dembele and Nkunku and Gnabry as Havertz like Firmino. Gnabry as Havertz like Firmino. Fair enough. I'd actually back that more than this with Neymar. I'm not even joking, but that's my feel. Thank you for the donation, Dinisham. Thank you for the donation. Anyway, let me put the link in the chat. I've got one more thing to go to as well. I had to get onto that Neymar thing because it was doing my head in. People talking about Neymar all the time. The club is more important than one player. Let's think about how we can make the squad depth better and make the whole team better than bringing one name player that's going to smash our fees and our wages and absolutely solve nothing. Did we not learn from our shit with Romelu Lukaku and other players that have come through the door that have just been bought for their names? Let's just learn from it. The link is in the chat. I've got some messages backstage. Chelsea are targeting. What's this one? Okay, interesting. Thank you, Uncle Jester. So, Jester, we'll come to that in a second. Tuchel needs a sporting director. Some of the things I'm seeing come out of our line, for a car crash next season. Emerson as backup. Dujon Sterling admired. Conor Gallagher, who doesn't suit our system. So this is the thoughts of CFC players. Parts I agree, parts I disagree with. Don't like Kimpembe. I think Conor Gallagher will be fine at Chelsea. Emerson, for me, needs to go. I don't think he's great backup, personally. Dujon Sterling should be given an option if we don't bother sorting out the wing-back area. That is literally it for me. That is literally it for me. Did I put the link in the chat? I can't remember. Did I? No, I didn't, did I? I didn't put the link in the chat. There we go. 360 of you guys here still. Big up to every single one of yous. Let's move from that. I'm going to go to, because I've got a couple here. So we've got this coming through from Cy Phillips, actually, quickly, while we're still here. And this is something kind of new. Chelsea target Koulibaly is widely expected to be available for around 30 million sterling this summer. Chelsea have had talks with his agent. The player is keen to move. This seems to be growing and growing and growing. This could still happen. He is an experienced player, but he's a player that we need in that area, especially in losing Rudiger. It makes more sense to bring in someone like him with his experience because we lack that experience from the back. So I would say bring him in. And the person that sent me that is coming right now, Mr. Jester. How are we doing, my man?
It's actually Monday for me, even though it's Tuesday because we had a holiday yesterday. So yeah, I'm doing all right. Just going through a bunch of transfer stuff. You know how the summer goes.
Yeah.
As far as Neymar goes, I would want him. I don't think we're going to bring him in. No, we're not going to do it. But if you ask me, would I take him over the dross we have playing winger right now? Yes.
Yeah. I mean, do you not feel that? Do you not feel just so? And I keep saying this to people that forgetting the fees and the wages, because we know that that's going to be astronomical with him. But even just fitting him in the squad with the current crop of players that we got, do you not feel that that's an issue in itself? Because look at our forward line; it's just not it.
Well, exactly. So you would bring him in to be the man. He would be the man.
So you'd want him to do like an Eden Hazard sort of esque.
Well, if look, the thing with Neymar is he has to have the ball at his feet. The more he has the ball, the more he creates and scores. If you look at his PSG term, you've got Mbappe there, and now you've had Angel Di Maria, you've had now Messi there. So he's like, he's just coasting. So you haven't seen the best of Neymar for a while. Again, I don't think we're signing Neymar. It was just one of those things. Would I take him over who we have playing inside forward or winger, however you want to describe it? And the answer to that is hell yes. I mean, how much have we complained about our wingers not doing anything this year?
I just don't feel that he's listen, we're all going to have our own preferences, right? Because we all at the end of the day, we all want the best for the football club. I might want someone, you might want someone. It falls to preference. For me personally, I'd rather go down the route of bringing in players that Tuchel wants to build for the long run that are young, like the Kounde-like players. You know what I mean? And not think that we can just go and win a title next season. I'd look to build and give him time to do that in the long run rather than bringing a Neymar. Look, don't get me wrong, you need them type of players, like them experience, top players that, I get that. But I just feel at this moment in time in the areas that we need to sort, spending that money would eliminate a lot of the positions that we would need to sort in the long run for this summer. And that worries me. That's why I wouldn't get Neymar. Do you know what I mean?
My question with Neymar is, what was his relationship like with Tuchel at PSG? Because I remember Tuchel coming out and saying, he obviously had a bit of issues. Like he wasn't just a manager; he also had to deal with the players and that there. So I don't know. Is that still an area that we could, like, Tuchel and Neymar could build upon? Was there any bad blood left over at PSG, or that's mad?
I still don't know why he's being entertained. The guy makes so much money at PSG, and what you expect him to take a massive pay cut to come to Chelsea in a harder league to play harder? He's got a cruise here in La Liga. I mean, in the French league.
He's on holiday there. Here he has to come and try. He's playing 20% of his effort.
He's going to play more games too.
He played 53% of all available League One minutes.
Why we spend so much time on somebody
his ability? What says he's going to put 100%?
Yeah, I know. That's why.
In a harder league.
I just wanted to explain why it would. Why?
Just so you got a point. There's a lot of players.
We're not bringing Neymar in, so we can move from that.
Yeah.
He's not.
But how much would Neymar cost though? That's another question. How much?
Don't worry about it. Let's move on. Don't worry about Neymar. He'll cost everything.
That's a deep conversation, depending on who you want to send. If you're sending somebody the other way, it's not worth a conversation to be had. It looks like Dembele's to get the forward coming in, or a winger coming in anyway.
The guy makes half a mil a week plus all these crazy add-ons. He's getting money for being the World Cup ambassador. It's insane. He'll double Lukaku's money, and he's our highest paid player. And for anyone to think that he's going to come take half a pay cut and then try harder in this league where he's got it a lot easier, tripping.
Fair enough. He couldn't even score in the Bundesliga, so you wanted to bring the Premier League.
And just the two, I think that he might not even do well. I think he's being so conditioned to that league that it's just such a step up that he might even struggle, and he might get back into the diving and all that he used to do, or probably still does. And over there he likes to tease people with tricks and stuff. He'll get smashed for that. So I'm not even convinced that he comes here and does well off the bat.
I think we just need to move on, because again, I just wanted to explain why I said yes. I don't think we're signing Neymar this summer.
No, but there's more telling areas that we need to talk about, and one of them being obviously the defence. You look at Bohely, who seems to be linked the links seem to be grand with him. It's not like it's going away as well. It's like, 30 million, he wants to play in the Premier League. Chelsea linked to him. I mean, Kazim, how you doing, bro? You all right?
I'm good, mate. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it, man.
No worries, mate. What's your thoughts on a defender like Koulibaly coming to Chelsea for 30 million?
Oh, mate. Koulibaly, man, people, I saw it in my stream, man. Koulibaly, 30 years old, Senegalese international. He's big, strong, and fast. He's a leader. He's got 1 year left in his contract, I believe. I take that all day long, man. I think Thiago Silva is not getting any younger. But I want to go back to the Neymar situation, man. Come on. No Neymar, man. First of all, he's done. 31 years old. The people don't understand the Premier League is different. There's no time, there's no space. And he would like for that. And I think he's done. We need to learn from the mistakes. I think Chelsea need to be built properly. The only way to catch Manchester City. I'm not going to mention Liverpool. I think we may be a bit close to Liverpool. And all I'm talking about is
Sorry.
Miles away behind Manchester City. And the only way to get closer to Manchester City, to get the right profiles, the right characters, winners. That's right. The only way we will catch Manchester City. That Neymar and all this marquee signing, man. Yeah. I think we've been there before.
I think just breaking news. Tchouaméni has signed for Real Madrid.
60 million.
Tchouaméni has signed for Real Madrid.
Has he?
Transfer fee it's not done, but the transfer fee is around 100 million euros.
That means it's Declan Rice in Chester, didn't it?
Huh?
Declan Rice is on his way.
No.
Bring on the Rice.
Rice is not coming to Chelsea this summer. It'll be.
No, a serious question. Let's quickly go to that quickly. Actually, Tchouaméni's going around Madrid. Declan Rice could potentially stay at West Ham.
Yes.
Who's left?
Sangare. I'll go for Sangare.
Sangare is an option.
If Jorginho leaves his club and we need to replace who's out there to go and replace
Bissouma?
Sangare. There's a guy called Sangare. He's very good. I think Tuchel was looking at him too. Sangare, because I think Tuchel was scouting him at one time, but he's pretty good as a Londium. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Sangare. Okay.
Is Sangare the one in the Eredivisie?
There you go. Yeah, it's PSV.
Bissouma got his court issue though. That's the other thing, isn't it?
But I think he's actually it's going to be wrapped up by June 6th, and I think actually he's just a witness in that thing. But nobody knows for certain if he played after Bale for Brighton. They must have known that there was nothing in it. True. Because I don't care if you're bailed or not. Look at Mason Greenwood. He was bailed. He was playing for United. So they must know there's something. He's not. Maybe they know he's not guilty. Because you're not. I don't care if you're bailed or not. You're not putting a sex offender, maybe.
Yeah, in a club that Brighton,
with all the you have sponsors that will just drop and go away. So I just.
Well, you lose a player, more importantly, yeah.
But sponsors are even more valuable because it's money.
Yeah, for Brighton, money is more important than a player because if they lose sponsor, they go down. So you can.
Well, the Man United lose any sponsors to be?
We've got one second.
United was going to lose sponsors over Greenwood, so that's why he's gone.
Okay, Jim.
We've got this comment that says Kante is rumoured to be uncertain on his future and is exploring his options. Tuchel and Chelsea want him to extend, and he will enter contract talks. However, the belief is he wants to take on a new challenge. This could.
I would sell Kante. I think I would sell Kante because the thing about Kante is that if you sell him to PSG, you can get like 50 million for him. But I would not sell him to Man United because I know Kante can still be good.
Who replaces him now? We're not getting a Tchouaméni, and we're not linked to Bissouma.
It's not about that, Matt. He's on 290 and he's got 1 year left, and he's 31 now, and he's struggling to play the whole season. So there has to be something. He wants some security. So if another club comes along, PSG for example, and being France as well, it probably might want to go back and offer him a longer contract than we will. Of course, he's going to take the more secure one. Do you know what I mean? We're going to offer him. I'm pretty sure we're going to offer him a pay cut. We're going to offer him a low wage or just a slight extension. Yeah. If anyone offers him a better deal, he'll probably take it.
The thing is that I could see Man United going for Kante because Man United will give him his wages. Because Chelsea will ask him to take a pay cut, but Man United will say, "Oh, you want 300k? Come to Man United, we'll give you 300k." Because Man United is a club that will give high wages for Kante, and they will probably get him because the thing about wages, Chelsea will tell him to take a pay cut, but I think Man United will give him the wage for like 3 years.
That'd be stupid, like Zach said, though, wouldn't it? You can't let him go to Man United.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I don't think he's going. If he's going, he's not staying in the Premier League.
Yeah,
because he'll be leaving for an easier league, i.e., PSG and Ligue 1. I think that's exactly what.
Serie A,
Serie A.
VJ, what you saying, man? I ain't spoke to you. That's what you saying, bro.
Hey, all good, Jem. Nice to meet everyone on the panel. Matt, Kasim for a long time. Just Rodrigo,
nice to meet you, VJ.
Declan, of course. Dinesh, the first time I'm meeting him.
Hey, VJ.
Big Todd. Okay. So my thoughts on all these topics that you just talked about. For me, Bissouma is a better option than Rice, only for the price tag. But you could also argue that Rice could be the future of the club. Let's say 4 or 5 years down the line, he could create, a legacy with the young players that we have currently in the squad because he's got already a good relationship with most of them. That's definitely good for the argument, but how much of that is going to become a reality really depends on how the managers and the sustainability of the managers for the next 3-4 years, because that's one factor that Chelsea has not been managed to do in the past. So anyways, that's on the DM position though. Sad to see Tchouaméni being sold to Real Madrid. But this was coming. Let's be honest. This was coming if we had not moved. In the summer, this was about to come. So yeah, we're seeing what was expected, and now they've got the Champions League, so they're going to be using that trophy to splash the cash around and get some players for them. So Neymar, I mean, that's a discussion. I'm not sure. Even if it is worth having, because he's on 700 euros per week, 700,000 euros per week. So, apparently yes. So,
Stay away.
Right. So he would be, if he is the first signing for Todd Boehly. Let's be honest, we're going to be breaking our club structure or the wage structure in such a way that we're going to be not recovering from that. Right.
True.
This is probably even worse than the Manchester United's wage structure. Yeah. So I believe it's not going to be good for business. And Neymar is again another player who you probably have to build your play around. I don't think so. Thomas Tuchel likes to do that. He's more systemic, and he expects the player to fit into a system. And he doesn't want one player to direct the system, which I think is still the right thing to do, because if the player is going out because of injury or some other reason, you don't know what to do. The players are going to obviously struggle. So I think Neymar on both those aspects is not going to be a good suitor for Chelsea Football Club, but of course, seeing those links just makes me wonder where these links come from and who are these journalists who talk about this. Anyways, Koulibaly, 30 years old. I see if at all we're going to go for him, I think we have to do it a bit more quicker. The reason being, he is also attracting, he's also attracting clubs. I believe already there is Barcelona Napoli swap deal that is being happening. That is in talks as well for Pjanic and Koulibaly. So if these things, I think we have to probably be a bit more quick in the market and do that. Right now we've got a new owner, so that's a very good thing. It's very definitive now. The Chelsea official statement is out 30th of May. So it's just been one day. I think in the next 10 days, we will see how Chelsea moves forward as a club. And like I've been stressing on this, I think before we even get to the transfer market, there are certain things that need to be changed at an organization level. I'm looking forward to those, right from the signing of new sponsors, and somewhere around the organization structure where the scouting department is going to be headed to, and also if people are going to be shuffled in terms of the leadership and how the board structure is going to look, because we're moving from a single person ownership to a consortium sort of a structure. So those are some interesting things that I'm looking forward to see in the next 1 month.
Vijay, I have a quick question for you, Vijay. I have a quick question for you. Would you take Rice for like 70 million plus add-on? So let's say we're able to negotiate, for West Ham, let's get Rice for like 75.
Letting him go.
It's hard.
Okay. Although we keep some secrets, if you like, we are not disclosing the full algorithm behind the scenes, right? So.
All right.
Yo,
I don't know what that voice was. Yeah. I thought someone was talking about Rice. Then I think, okay, fine.
No,
I don't think so. That was about Rice.
Yeah, it's me. I was on a business call. Yeah. I just want to jump in quickly, talk about Kante. I think
West Ham?
some Chelsea fans are crazy. Wanting to sell Kante? That is the craziest thing I've read. I will not. For me, Kante, even with one leg, we're not selling him. He's gonna retire Chelsea player. All we have to do with Kante is make him play 20 games, 20 big games. Manage.
But wages.
Yeah, but you talk in the sense that like you just tell him and you tell him jump and how high. It's not even. It's up to the contract that they offer him. If someone gives him a better contract than Chelsea,
I think they'll offer him something. They'll offer him something good.
Yeah, but what happens if someone offers him something better?
Yeah, but
you're gonna say the club's got that power to dictate terms.
Rodrigo,
we're not United.
Rodrigo, my question to you with respect to Kante is: I understand where you're coming from in terms of the emotions and in terms of what he's done for Chelsea. I get that. But let's say he's on 270k a week right now, correct? Yeah. So if he needs to be offered a contract, what sort of a contract would you be offering him? A short-term contract with... let me finish the question. A short-term contract which probably puts him around 240k or probably somewhere around 300 or 320k.
Yeah, if I were to give him a contract, obviously, I would... Considering his injury record, considering obviously his age, coming to the end of of his contract at Chelsea, I'll offer him obviously a pay cut, not a ridiculous pay cut where he's like, well, you're taking a piss, like 150 or 100k. We give him a good pay cut. Maybe we change our policy on sign-on bonus, so maybe we give him that because he's a key player, and obviously if he wants to go. Ideally, we should push for him to go abroad. We can't give him to United.
Hey, you still don't get it, about it, bro. You just said that you talked him up, and now you're ready to give him a pay cut, short contract. Someone's gonna come, bro. Someone's gonna come give him a better contract than us, and he's gonna leave. And you guys got to understand that our team is in a position where. With the young players we have, they haven't hit their peak, so Kante is not going to experience when the team's at its best. So there's no point throwing heaps of money to keep him. And this goes for some other players as well. So now, Kante is such a big player. Like I said, in France he's a massive player. PSG will offer him a better contract than us. Man United can offer him a better contract than us. If someone offers him stability, right, because we had a record of not offering players over the age of 30 long contracts, right? And if we do that again, someone's going to offer him 3-4 years.
But
and he's going to go there.
Because the thing with Kante also this season, we saw that the main thing that we have with Kante was his energy and running around. But the thing with Kante, like some players, when they go old, they change their way. So they either score more goals or they can do better passing. But with Kante, you know that he's not able to score goals, and his passing sometimes is like, so his main focus is going down, which is running around, interception, full energy. So for me, Kante, if he goes to a French league like PSG, he can still be at his best level there for like 2 years, 3 years. At Chelsea, you will see, sadly, you will start seeing him making more mistakes, and then, fans will start being like, why, Kante, sell him or something, because it's not his fault. It's just that he's getting older, and the Premier League is getting harder. So,
guys, I want to move away from Kante because it's all about Kante. I get it. I think with Kante, it's a thing of either him or Jorginho have to stay or go. I think Jorginho will go still, and Kante will stay, but I could be wrong.
I think they'll both go.
If they both go, then we're in trouble because then we're
yes, we are.
How are we in trouble?
Because Jorginho's are only sitting down. Who's going to come be a sitting?
First of all, he's not a sitting DM. He's
a sitting midfielder.
Don't put defensive.
He's still
don't
our
put
sitting
defensive
structured
next to his name.
midfielder. He's still our structured midfielder in sitting. In the sitting.
Okay, but he's not defensive. Please don't put defensive next to his name.
He sits in front in the centre back.
Guys, if we lose both, the biggest thing we lose by losing both Kante and Jorginho is experience. We haven't got that as it is anyway in the team. So you lose them two, and you then want to bring in players that haven't played in this league and need to adapt and this, that, and the other. I just think having one and letting one other go, and then maybe the season after letting them go and bring something fine. But losing two at once, especially with everything that we've got going on in defence, and that just doesn't make any sense to me at this moment.
Does Kante, as he played this year, raise our defensive acumen that much?
My question to you would be: you let them both go. Who would you bring in for them two positions?
I'll bring right.
That's very easy. I would bring in Yves Bissouma.
Yeah.
And then I would go back to PSV and bring in Sangaré, and then switch to a back four.
True.
I don't know that Sangaré, so I can't talk on him personally.
That's two DMs.
Yeah. That's two DMs.
Two DMs that went out, and you switch to a back four, and Conor Gallagher then plays as a rotational 8 with Kovacic and Mount starting as the 8s, and you go from there.
I just feel like you need to you still have to have that experienced midfield, and bring in. I don't know how old that Sangaré is. How old is he? Is he young or?
He's 24.
He's 24.
Okay, so he's youngish. Bissouma's got the Premier League proven side of him, so you don't worry too much with him. That's fine. I get Bissouma. I'm quite a fan of Bissouma anyway, but I don't know. I just think Bissouma, Kante, Bissouma, Jorginho for one season with Kovacic as well, potentially, or Bissouma, Kovacic could be. At least you've got the option. It's the depth element.
But like,
Declan
said, it's all about the contract.
Do you know what I mean? I think depth is a key thing for us.
Well, what about McGinn from Aston Villa?
No.
You know what? That dude is one of those guys.
Matt Simpson, no.
Look,
not McGinn.
He's one of those guys that you never want to play against because he's a shithousery specialist.
Yeah.
And he's one of those guys that you would always want to have on your team. But is he at the level to play Champions League football for Chelsea Football Club? Do you see him playing against the top teams in Europe? McGinn.
No.
You're talking, bro. You're talking about Bissouma. He never played against the top team.
No, but Bissouma, when you see him play, you know, because when you see Brighton play, Bissouma is usually the long DM.
McGinn, first of all, he came from Man United Academy, right?
That's true.
And McGinn is it's good aggression. He's quick. He read the game very, very well. And he's a Scottish international. So if you're talking about European football, he's a Scottish international. Am I right?
You're right. When I watch him play, I don't know. There's just something there. I hate to play against the guy because he'll cream your midfield, but I just don't know if the tech is there to play at the highest level.
I watched Bissouma at the Bridge when we drew 1-1 with them.
And he was very good.
Absolutely bullied our
Yes,
midfield. Like, I'm not joking.
Good player.
It was really bad what he done to our midfield that day, and I had to witness it with my eyes. It was
and he was alone. He was. I remember it was Jorginho and someone else, but he was alone, and he was like, he wasn't afraid. At Stamford Bridge, he was just.
I'm not joking. He wasn't even sprinting. He was jogging past our midfielders. We had no Kovacic that day. I know Jorginho was playing, but I can't remember who was playing next to him. But he was just walking through our midfield like nothing, intercepting like nothing. It was just easy for him. Like, he looked very good. But I want to go on to Dembele, guys, because that's a player that is heavily linked to me. I'll go to Matt because I'm going to ask Matt on this. Matt, Dembele at Chelsea.
I think it's a great move because Tuchel is highly confident in him. We've seen what he said about him, and I think Dembele is a fantastic player. Take away his injuries. That's the only concern that everyone here has on Dembele is his injury prone. He hasn't had a major injury for 7 months. That's looking good, and I trust Tuchel to bring him in and possibly again. It's all possible. It's every single deflect with every single attacker we're linked with. We got the Nkunku, we got Dembele, and that. Dembele's deflect is that he gets injury prone easily. However, I'm willing to take that risk to bring him in as a player. It's a free. He's on 200k a week. I'll bring him in, and I think he's a classic winger. It's something we need. We need someone who can create, who can score. He runs down those wings, and his pace is unbelievable. So if he plays like he does in the La Liga in the Premier League, he's gonna absolutely bang it. And with Tuchel's confidence in him, I think he's an absolute banger. So I would take Dembele to Chelsea for sure.
Can someone just quickly call Lewis and try and wake him up? Because I think he's still asleep. I think he's having nightmares.
He's been saying that all week. He's been saying the bastard is falling.
He just somehow managed to get on my channel and comment that while he was still sleeping. So I think someone needs to wake him up. He's
no, the Barca thing. Yeah. Look, they had to come up with 500 million euros by the 30th of June, or they're in financial problems.
Yeah.
They cannot sign anybody. Or they can't register. They can sign people. They can't register anybody. So they can't register AC. They can't register Kessie. If they bought Lewandowski, they can't register Lewandowski.
Mm-hmm.
So they have issues.
If Barca does on AC, you think he'll come back? I don't think he'll come back.
I don't think he's coming back.
He'll go to a Saudi Arabian team for all I care.
They'll take out a loan and get the 500 million, and it'll be done.
They've probably got the government giving them the money, Jester, haven't they? Let's be serious. It's the same as Real Madrid. They were both in the pots at 1 minute, and next minute.
Matt, would you take him back, Matt? Would you take him back?
Christensen? No.
Why not?
Who?
Why not?
Why not? Because he's a pussy on the field. He's too weak. And I've been saying that for years. He's
mentally checked out.
The man cannot play final.
He's mentally checked out, so he's already
got a sore stomach every game.
He's already transferred.
I feel, Iris, obviously has his problems. I'm sorry for that, but like, you can't be a professional footballer with those problems. It's unfortunate. He has those anxieties. That's obviously bad, but unfortunately, the consequences of it is you can't be a professional footballer with those attitudes.
Have you got IBS? What's going on?
He has anxiety. Yes, that's what he said. It's a shame he has it, but you can't be a professional footballer with that.
He never has it for Denmark, though.
Mate, he's done.
He's done. Yeah, he's done, man.
There's no reason to slander the guy. He helped us win the Champions League last year when Thiago Silva went down. He played brilliant.
Yeah.
He's just doesn't want to be here anymore.
Ultimately, the money talk, because if him gone and Rudiger already gone, right? So we need to replace this too. But if Christensen is still, the Barcelona deal is collapsing, Chelsea will have him back easy because they don't have to pay 50-60 for another defender. So all they do is gonna put their wage up. That's it, really.
Kazim can go wherever he wants. It's not about Chelsea having him back easy.
Moa.
Chelsea will have him back easy.
The rule doesn't make the rule Moa.
No, he's out of contract, yeah? So he can go anywhere he wants. So Chelsea would have to give him the bonuses and the money, everything that he was after, that he was expecting from the other clubs.
Rusty the Clown is a good footballer. He's nothing more than a good footballer. That is it. There's no top player. There's no world class fucking goat. This baller. He's just a good defender. That is all I would say about him. Like, I think he's. I don't think he's Chelsea. I don't think he's consistently been good enough at this football club. I think we've seen that. But then, like most of them, I still think that our standards should be a lot higher than Andreas Christensen, personally.
Sure.
But everyone's got different thoughts on that. Big up to Showtime, who's in the house. Marina Lover, how we doing, bro? Hope you're well. Listen, look. I'm going to finish off soon, but I wanted to just quickly, I was going to do a FIFA squad builder, but I'll save it to next time. And players that I think maybe could work for Thomas Tuchel next year. But when you look at the positions that we need to fill, Jester, obviously we know defence needs to be done. For you, what would be a good summer window under the Todd Boehly era?
For me, my particular...
But you have to be... Logically, it can't just be.
I got you.
Yeah, go on.
We're not playing FIFA here. So Kounde is pretty much in the bag. I would bring Vardiol in. So logically, they're looking at a left wing back. So I would bring in Sosa, Basuma into the midfield, and Dembele.
So you feel that we only need one forward?
Well, I think that's if we have two forwards leave, we will have one forward come in. You said reasonable.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not. Look, if you want to go unreasonable, we could ship. Look.
No,
Lukaku is also.
Why I did that was to understand what your priorities were in your head.
Yeah.
That's why I asked you. So
no. If it was my priorities, I would bring in Vardiol, Kounde, bring in two DMs, Lewandowski and Dembele.
Yeah, Lewandowski. Yeah.
Because Lukaku will go to to Bayern. So
he will?
Yeah, there's been reported that Bayern is his backup. It's his backup bitch. So if Inter they can't work anything out with Inter, you could do a swap deal plus cash for Lukaku for Lewandowski.
Sure.
Okay, interesting. Kazim, what about you, mate?
Bro, listen, I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but that's what I like. I like this guy. I give Lukaku to Inter Milan. I get Lautaro and Martinez in the front. Listen, the front line has been issue, bro. The front line.
Okay.
We need a midfielder.
As much as I agree with the Martinez, I was going to ask, do you think Lukaku, if he goes back, he would allow Martinez it would be part of the agreement that Martinez stays?
Oh, well, why not?
That he even raved about in that interview? That's his man.
I don't know the details, Declan, but what I can say, I'll tell you exactly what I want, and all I can do.
No, I agreed with you. Just that detail was I questioned as well.
Yeah, I need Martinez. I want Richarlison in the front because I think that's my man. That's my man, Richarlison.
Still going with that,
bro. That just me, man.
I thought it went past.
Yeah, I want Richarlison in the front. He's a winner. He's everywhere.
Wait a second. Before you go forward, why do you want Richarlison at Chelsea?
Because Richarlison, but that's the point you're missing there, Jim, right? Chelsea are looking characters and personalities. Listen, in order for us to compete with Manchester City, financially, Manchester City richer than us. It's the only way to compete with Manchester City to build up properly, to get the right characters, a right personnel. Like, we let Rudiger go. Rudiger had the personality and he had the characters, winners. We don't have. We've got too many soft players in the squad, bro. Richarlison, he give you that. He's a fighter. He's a winner. He work. And that's how our issue was with Lukaku.
Is he a goal scorer?
He is a goal scorer in a way. And he's versatile. He can play in a different position. He can play in the left. He can play in the right. Right? That's Richarlison every one of you doesn't like. I rate Richarlison highly, bro. I really do. And he reminds me, give me that vibe of Suarez and Diego Costa. I'm telling you that right now.
Wow.
And he's young. Wow. But I think why Chelsea fan missing is we've got issue with the front line. The midfielder, yes, we need a world-class midfielder, but we've got issue with the front line. We don't score enough goals, bro. We just don't. And if we don't sort the issue, the like of Conte with Tottenham, we're going to be out of top 4. Newcastle going to be stronger, right? Ten Hag was Manchester United. We don't know what is going to happen there. And we know City and Liverpool already got the squad, right? And they've got the managers, right? So Chelsea, if they're not sorting themselves out, the board, the manager, the average players will have, we're going to be in trouble, bro. So I think the front line, it's been an issue. Richarlison, for me, a winner. Lukaku need to go, bro. It's not working. Because I heard different YouTubers say, well, let's give him one more chance. It's not for me. It's never been for me. So Lukaku need to go. Loftus-Cheek need to go. A lot of players need to go, bro. It's just average to play for Chelsea Football Club. So the front line need to be sorted out. I agree with, I think that I really like Cucurella for Brighton as well. Cucurella, he works hard. His work rate is good. He tackles and he goes forward. I spoke about the lad from Norwich as well. People laughed at me. Aarons, he's gone down to the Championship now. 22 years old, and he's attacking minded, and he can become up for cheap, for the depth for the squad. That's what Manchester City have. We don't have big squad with quality. That's why I want to say.
Hey Jim, I'm gonna bounce. I gotta get ready for another stream.
Yes, big up to you, man. Thank you for coming on, bro. Take care.
Anytime, bro. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for. I appreciate it, man.
Later.
Yeah, man.
See you later, man. All right, let's go on to VJ. VJ, what are you saying?
All right, so this is what I want, right? Not the players. I want the positions to be filled properly. So one player for the right wing back and left wing back. Let's put it that way, right? One who can play both of it. You bring in Hakimi, you bring in Cucurella, doesn't matter. But I want a proper cover for that position. And one's passion versions, okay. And then I want a DM. Let's not call it a DM. Maybe a DM who can, if I'm using this term versatile, I know people are probably going to take it the other way around. Not too much versatility, but someone who can also contribute to the attack at times, be it through balls, be it long passes, those things. So one midfielder, a defensive-minded midfielder who can do that, and one winger. Dembele most probably, because that's more likely because he's on a free, and we are in a good position to make that deal, and Tuchel as well has a good history with him. So maybe Dembele. And if the Lukaku deal goes through, which I think it's going to be highly unlikely due to the difficulty of the situation, because it's just 1 year and it's 115 million transfer. Not sure how this is going to be negotiated, but if you're able to manage to do that, I think that would bring a good amount of money back to our kitty, and maybe we use that to go buy someone like Rafinha from the market. So that's pretty much it.
Fair enough. Nice to hear. Matt, what are you saying, bro?
I'm going to agree with Kasim to the extent that we need people who want to win. We have a very soft team. I agree with that. Is Richarlison the answer? No, in my opinion, no. But we need players who want to win, who play for the badge, who want to put their hearts on the pitch. We don't really have that. We have limited players like that.
Why do you want Kepa then? Let me know.
Kepa shows on the pitch. He shows the gym. When he makes a save, you see the saves he makes, how energizing he gets. Like, he shows he wants to be there. Even Mendy does that at times. There's players who do that, but there's a lot of players who don't do that. And we're starting to get rid of some. Christensen, he never did that. Even, I'm going to say our captain, Aspilicueta, at times he doesn't do that. Rudiger was a player who did that a lot. He showed intensity on the pitch. But for me, for transfers, again, Cucurella is a fantastic option. He's such a versatile player. Left wing back, left centre back, if we need him to play, right wing back. And I'll go for Cucurella, Kounde, Koulibaly, if we ever can, Tchouaméni somehow. And we're definitely going to lack a Tchouaméni and Dembele up front. Again, Rafinha. But I would want more outings than innings this season, because, we've got to get rid of that dead wood.
Yeah, but
for me.
by wanting the outings and wanting, which I agree, do you not feel that it will muck? We've got a problem with depth as it is, so not replacing that.
No.
That initiative, like.
I go but like replacing, like, if I'm talking about midfield, Loftus-Cheek, Barkley, go. We get one midfielder in. Looking at attack, we get rid of Werner, bring in one midfielder. Defense is already empty. It's more we get rid of more of like those bench players, the Kennedys, the Sauls, all those players, plus some starting players like Werner and Loftus-Cheek are the two starting players that go. I would keep Kante, Jorginho, if we don't force a move for them out. If an offer comes to Kante, I'll take it, but I would definitely not force Jorginho out. Jorginho is definitely a squad depth player we need next season. He's very, very important to us as it is already. He's shown that recently. He's going to be even more important to us next season. So I will take that midfielder, like a Basuma or whatever, and Jorginho can be on the bench and rotate with him. Imagine having two world-class midfielders. That'll work out fantastic for me.
I wouldn't say world-class, but class, yeah.
Top 3 Ballon d'Or contender.
All right, let's go to Rodrigo. What are you saying? He's there. He's there. Rodrigo, you not there, bro?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I think our biggest priority right now is defense. I think we need to reinforce our defense. We need Koulibaly. For me, that will be the perfect signing for me. We get Koulibaly in. Obviously, Kounde, that looks like it's going to be done. And then we need a backup for Reece James. I think on the left side, as much as people don't like Emerson, I think he could do a job. So I think we don't have anyone to back up Reece James. I don't trust Aspie. Emerson is better backup to Chilwell than Aspie is to Reece. I don't want to see in a season where we're playing people like Pulisic at wing back or Loftus-Cheek at wing back. That can't happen anymore. So we need someone to back him up. So, yeah, because I don't think Kounde is a good wing back. Kounde is a right back. Yes, he'll do a job there, but not wing back. And then, obviously, once we do that, we need a midfielder. That's another area that we need to reinforce. So, the three guys, I like it, the triumvirate, the trio, Kovacic, Kante, Jorginho, have to stay. There's no way we're losing any of those three. And then we need to add to that. So we need to add to that. And then the players I'm looking at, obviously, Tchouaméni is gone. Kamara is gone. Declan Rice is too expensive. So I don't know. It's a very tough one. I'll take someone like someone just to throw in the mixer there. Someone like Isco from Real Madrid. I know he doesn't play in a double pivot. I know that, but someone that I think we need someone in like Mata, like David Silva. Maybe that's what we need. Again, someone would say no, we need a DM to help Kante and Jorginho out. But again, maybe we need also a number 10, a pure number 10. Like his job is literally linking midfield and the attack. I think Mount they're not number 10s. They try the best, but they're just not good enough. They don't have that. They don't have the brain, the IQ to see passes that Isco will see in the old days, the David Silva and Mata will see. So again, I don't know about DM. It's so hard now. Maybe the Sangare guy, people are talking about him from PSV. I haven't seen much of him. I saw him in the AFCON for Ivory Coast. He looked good. Again, it's hard to judge a player based on an international tournament, especially one like AFCON where, I don't know, it's mid of the season. But if he comes, he'll probably do a job. In attack, like I said, it's a player in the mold of David Silva, Juan Mata. So Isco from Madrid, I heard he's free. We get him. We get Dembele. I think we sorted.
There you go. Everyone's got sort of different opinions on what they require. Remember, like I said, it's got to be preference for you guys, but at the same time, be a bit logical with it because we know that we need so many areas sorted. It's just how many of them we're going to get sorted in this summer window. And that's the biggest question mark. So let's go to Declared. What are you saying, Declared?
Big up, everyone. It's going to be a crazy one, huh? Definitely Kounde. That should be like already done. Guaviol, I think I hope I didn't butcher that guy's name, the guy from Leipzig, and he's a tall fullback, so I think he can do a left wing back job too. But I don't mind, like Rodrigo said too, Emerson to do a job there as well. We do need someone right wing back, and that one there's not a player besides Hakimi that stands out for me in that situation. Might be interesting. I know it's going to be real hard, but at the same time, PSG with the contracts they have, they might have to offload some people. And Hakimi, if we get Hakimi off their books, that might be a win-win situation.
Too much wages, I think, with Hakimi, and it's the same thing with what we got with Romelu Lukaku. Like we've had him for 1 year, they're not going to want to cut their losses too much, and the wage structure is going to be annoying as well. So let's see.
It might be. But there's not a lot of standouts on the right, so we see what happens there. Yeah. In the middle, happy with Basuma. I like Rice. I mean, overall, Rice actually wants to come to Chelsea. When we talk about all these players we want, many would choose Real Madrid over us, and a lot of players getting that situation might choose other clubs over us. But we know that Rice at least wants to come to Chelsea. Forward line, Nkunku I like. Any agile striker. I think Gallagher comes in there, so we don't have to. One's probably enough. Richarlison, Andre Silva, any agile. For me, everyone wants Dembele, Neymar, these entertaining players of the past. Everyone that plays white wing can dribble, but that's never been our problem. Chances created hasn't been our issue. It's been goals in the net, and we bought one player that was really good at it, and the rest weren't. Ideally, you want all three players on the front with a great goal scoring record or conversion as well. So it'll be good to have agile strikers at the front.
Fair enough. Well, I'm going to come to Winter Surfer. He's come in late, but we'll get some questions into. Dinishan, what are you saying?
Hey, yeah. So for me, it's mostly like what everyone said. Like Declan says, Kounde is pretty much done. And for me, I'll go for Guardiola over Koulibaly because I still feel Tuchel will play back three, which means that the right centre back and the left centre back have to play like a right back and left back because Rudiger was very fast, was very quick. That's why he could play technically like a left back. Koulibaly is very good. Does he have that pace to be able to play that left back like Rudiger did? But when I look at Guardiola, he's so quick. He has that physicality. He's so quick. I feel like, yes, he's still young. He can make mistakes. But I think he will be in the future a big replacement for Rudiger. And for me, the statement signing will be Declan Rice. I think many people will get shocked for that. But West Ham going to Europa Conference, not Europa League, they give me that little bit of boost that, you know, why will Rice will force the transfer out, saying, no, I don't want to play in Conference League. And, you know, and I think statement signing, if Marina is really a good negotiator, we will see. But I think statement signing could be Declan Rice. And Jorginho, Kante, I think if one of them leave, we'll get Bissouma. But the thing is that I think Tuchel will keep Kante. Because Tuchel, even before he came to Chelsea, he always rated Kante. So if Kante take a pay cut, like everyone is saying, I think he will get an extension of his contract. Jorginho, I think many people say that I respect Jorginho, but many people think that Tuchel rated him. Tuchel never rated Jorginho. He used Jorginho in a formation so that he could win Champions League last season. He knew that the only person that could pass in that midfield was Jorginho, but he never rated him. So I think Jorginho will go. And in the attack, I think if Lukaku goes, I think we can have a shout to Nkunku. But it depends. It depends if Lukaku and Werner goes and Ziyech goes. If those three goes, then I think we get Nkunku. But Dembele, I think we're going to get Dembele. I think it's 90% we get Dembele because Dembele has huge respect for Thomas Tuchel. The only season where Dembele looked like a beast was under Thomas Tuchel in Dortmund. And I think when you have that connection with a manager like Drogba, Mourinho, you know, like manager have a connection with players, I think Dembele will be very good signing for Chelsea under Thomas Tuchel. And for the right wing back, left wing back, I don't want someone expensive. I think I just want someone. That's why the scouting comes in play for Todd Boehly. I want a right wing back which is cheap but fit the style of Thomas Tuchel, because Reece James, Chilwell will be our first starter. But get me someone like 50 million, you know, like an Andy Robertson who's cheap, you know, but can do the job. So if Chelsea can do that, I think we'll go for next season. That's what I believe.
Interesting. All different views to it as well. So it's good to hear. We've done 2 hours of the show, over 200 likes, guys. Big up to everyone that's done that so far. Subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. Actually, I think are we on 200 likes? Yeah, I think we're 194 actually. So 6 more likes. Please subscribe if you haven't, and also hit the likes. Get this over 200 likes. Winter Surfer, you come in at the end. But I will ask you a couple of questions. Some of the stuff that we went through the show today. What are your thoughts on this Neymar hype on Twitter about him coming to Chelsea and all this? How do you feel about that, quickly?
I think it's just hype. I really do. Like, I think someone said, I think it's on like 600, 700 grand a week. I'm just not sure that the other spending 4.25 billion, they're then going to destroy the wage structure, because it's different in football than it is in baseball. I think it's just, listen, we may be in for him, but I don't think we're going to pay him that much. That's all.
Do you want him as a preference? Do you think he would suit Tuchel's way, or do you think he's?
I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know if he'd get. I know France is a physical league, and I do know he gets chopped down. I don't know how he would. I don't want this version of Neymar. This version of Neymar at PSG is, compared to his Barcelona, it's like Jekyll and Hyde. I don't want this Neymar. This Neymar for me is just, he's just ghosting and riding on a wave of others at the moment. Do you know what I mean? So I really don't want him. And he's 30 now. Is he going to get any better? I don't think so. So I would stay away. But he's not for me, man. I think it's just because we're bought. We're just going to be linked to everyone now. The sanctions.
It goes back to the thing again of just going for the big name and the big wage and thinking it solves your problem. You know, I just think we've got to revert from that under Todd Boehly. I'd rather go down the route of giving it a bit more time and just bringing in players that Tuchel wants, but give him time to work with them. You know, and if it's like the likes of people like Jules Kounde, who are still very young, that are growing into the players that they're going to become in the next years, then give him that. But what's your thoughts on the Lukaku saga today as well? We did speak about that at the beginning earlier. It looks like he's got rid of his agent and he's got another lawyer talking to him about land. And this talks about him going to Bayern Munich. He's saying that it will take a 40% cut in his wage as well. Like, what?
I mean, what I read, I don't know if the Bayern, if it's linked to like Lewandowski, that's separate. But if it is like, and we can get Lewandowski in return, then that's a great deal. If the Inter loan is 20 million euros up front with a 17 million obligation, you're losing 13 million overall. I think that's one heck of a deal.
especially if you get an obligation, not like a choice. You get an obligation, which means they have to pay it. Fine. I would try and get Bastoni, whatever, in on this deal because I think he looks very good, Bastoni. But yeah, I would deal if we can get something out of it that suits us, either the payment or Lewandowski or another player in return. I think we come out winners, and even if we don't, and Inter just pay 20 million euros and 70 million, I think that's whoever negotiated that. And if that is Mourinho who's negotiated that, you cannot then tell me she doesn't know how to do a job.
Yeah,
because if she's got that and we're only losing 13 million overall, that is amazing. Amazing.
That's great. I mean, that's a Marina masterclass there. If she gets that done, I give her that. I mean, but going on to Dembele, I mean, it looks like he wants to come. There was some breaking coming out earlier saying that he'd gone quiet because he was waiting for Chelsea's sanction to blow over, a bit like Jules Kounde, and then he was ready to kick on. So, Dembele, a good option for you, or are you worried about his sort of injury record?
I'm worried about multiple things. I'm worried about our Asian sponsors because of that thing that he had with Rakuten. I'm worried about that. That's going to be some PR they're going to have to try and remember because we had that issue with Kennedy, remember?
Yeah.
When he did that thing. I'm worried about his wages for a guy that hasn't played basically for 4.5 years and had 7 injury-free months. I'm worried about that. And I'm worried about his injuries. He is coming into a more physical league than the actual La Liga, if we think about it.
Yeah.
And listen, there's no doubt his talent. I don't doubt his talent whatsoever, but there's too many red flags for me on him. I think he will sign, but I wouldn't touch him with a barge pole, really. I think he's got too much baggage and I would let him go somewhere else. Be amazing to me if someone's smart enough to put in his contract, you've got to stay injury free for a year or something. A lot have any long term injury for a year or something like that, or and then it staggers the pay because the wages he's after he's got the balls to ask for that after being off for basically 4.5 years. It's just
he should be taking a pay cut, really.
Exactly. Yeah, he should be asking us how much we want to pay him. That's what we should be asking. Because he's got some nerve, and he's got some nerve.
I don't have no problem with Dembele coming Chelsea. The problem I have is with what you said is that he can come in, get him for the right wage role is critical, but it's the same point of having the squad depth because there's no point of getting rid of Ziyech, Werner, and Lukaku and bringing Dembele in and then asking him to play the whole season. You need to have him on rotation because Pulisic and him as your two forwards with Havertz and say Mount is that two of them. Our NHS bill is going to be big, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Especially with them two. So we don't need that. But I agree with that. Kostic is a good shout. He's going for 15 million, but apparently he's going Juventus. I actually like Kostic, but he's 30.
Is he a right wing back?
He's the left back. He's the left wing back for Frankfurt that played in the final. It's quite good actually.
Do you all think Werner will leave this season, or do you think Tuchel give him one more season and see?
I don't know. I don't know. There's not a lot of talks around him at the moment, it seems like more Lukaku than anything. And I did say this. I said, I think if Lukaku goes, I actually think Werner stays.
Yeah. I was thinking that too. Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see if Lukaku doesn't go to Bayern, what Bayern do, because they know he can score. He can score.
Yeah, he can score. I mean, Lukaku is a better finisher than Bayern. Yeah. If Bayern wants a finisher, we have to go to Lukaku because it's a better shot.
But when we look at the midfield, obviously Tchouaméni looks like he's going to Real Madrid. That whole saga of wanting him and whatever is now looks like it's going to be squashed. Declan Rice, West Ham were reluctant to let him go this summer. It looks like we're going to have to play it down to his contract sort of closes down, gets closer to that 1 year phase. What would you do? Because Jorginho, apparently Kante is supposedly listening now, apparently, which I don't know how true that is, but he's listening to other people's offers. Fair enough. Jorginho is talking about potentially going back to Juventus, as well. Who is there that can come in for you and play in that position? Basuma is obviously one of them, but who would you go with?
Perfect replacement with Jorginho. Very underrated player. Played the Premier League for, I think, 4 seasons now, maybe 3. Plays for Wolves. 24 years old. Ruben Neves. No, I'm telling you, he's outgrown Wolves, Jem. He's outgrown Wolves, right? He is a sensational player. Trust me. If a big team picks him up, they're going to get a very good player. He's 24.
Ruben Neves.
He's 24. He's more physical than Jorginho. I think he's a better passer than Jorginho, more progressive passer. And I think he can come in and do a job better than Jorginho.
First time I've heard Ruben Neves, to be fair.
He's a very good player.
Do you know what's good about Ruben Neves, thinking about him, is his range of passing and how quick he always looks to move the ball forward. And the one thing that I think we suffered from last season is being progressive, quickly. Yeah. I think Jorginho likes doing that. He likes controlling the game at his tempo. As with Neves, he kind of adapts to, how quick the game is, if that makes sense. So if he knows that we need to break, he'll play the ball.
Someone put it in the chat. Is he slow? He's not slower than Jorginho. So that's always
no, he's not.
I rate Neves because for me, Ruben Neves is very good because I watch Wolf is very good.
Sorry,
Ruben Neves is actually very good because if you watch Wolf play, they play 3 at the back, and Neves, I've seen him play against whenever Wolf plays against Man United or big team. Usually be the main guy, and he's pretty good. But I was thinking that since we lost Matic, the last time that Chelsea wins a season, Mourinho was smart enough to bring Matic from Benfica because he knew how physical this league was. And for me, Matic was a very underrated player, even how good Fabregas was, Kante was, but we never able to replace Matic for me. And if Bohely able to do scouting or something, I don't know, but able to bring that physicality in the DM, because scouting is very crucial, look at Liverpool getting Fabinho when we get Bakayoko, so that's why scouting is very crucial. And I feel like for the DM, if we can get Rice, then the scouting, get the scouting. I don't know. It's very crucial.
I haven't even mentioned Rice because for me, the Rice thing's boring me now. Because we know that they want 100+ M's. I don't want that.
Yeah, we're very tough.
So just wait for Rice for his contract to slowly run out, and then maybe try and negotiate when he starts pushing himself more out as well to then get in the right price for him. And that's what I would prefer.
The only thing is, if you're on a progressive 6 or someone who could play possibly a 6, do you whatever another 8 or something like that or whatever, do you go for someone? Everyone's going about Jude Bellingham, but we know Jude Bellingham's going to be probably triple figures at the moment.
Yeah.
And then do you see what the situation is with Gavi at Barcelona? But then that's just another youngster coming in. You have to give him time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I really think this summer is really the depth in every position is not that deep, name-wise. You're going to have some scouting. Proper scouting. Unearth some diamonds, because I don't think there's a lot of choice in areas.
That should be our biggest transfer, yeah.
We can only think of probably one. We can only think of one right back or right wing back. I think that's Hakimi. I can't think of anyone else who comes to mind at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, 88 Bus Stop's come out of this donation. Thank you very much, bro. He says Chelsea's best legends and best performing foreign players have always had a history with the French league because of their caliber style. Drogba, Kalidou, Malouda, Essien, Makelele, etc. to this tradition.
Eden Hazard too, because he came from
here. Good shout. That is true. That is very true what he said there.
Aspilicueta, I believe, came from French league too, but Hazard came from Lille. So.
Yeah. Thank you for that donation, brother, as well.
But then we've always done probably better under Italian managers overall than actual. Apart from Mourinho and maybe people, but it's. I think he's right. I think the French players, because I think the physicality is quite close, and maybe speed of the game is quite close. They're easier to adapt over to England than say people from Germany and people from Spain. Sometimes it takes them quite a while.
Yeah,
that's why I'm sad with Tchouaméni because he played in French league, and I felt like Tchouaméni for me is we could have. It's a big loss, but Real have got Camavinga and Tchouaméni. It's tough, man. It's tough.
Serginho Dest might be a name you might see pop up more regular for Chelsea.
I've heard this. I don't know if it's good, but
listen, I don't know how good he is. There's always a mixed answer when you get is he good enough? But it might be something to take. Barcelona got to raise 500 million euros.
True.
So
Barca is in trouble.
Yeah, things might completely fall out the ground for him at that rate. So they've got a lot to work out.
Here's an idea. We'll take advantage of Barcelona. Speak to Kessie.
Yeah, Casey's actually very good. I do rate Casey. Yeah, he's actually very good. Yeah.
Or we can have drink water back. You know.
No.
Well, Bakayoko's coming back. So.
Oh my god.
Guys, anyway, 2 hours and 15 minutes. Big up to every single one of you. I was out for 6 days, but back with a bang. Over 460 of you guys here today. It was a great show, actually. Appreciate every single one of you guys that tuned in for the show today. Still over 240 of you guys here now. Big up to every single one of you guys. We will be going through the transfer window of Chelsea's, whether it's breaking or whether it's ins or outs. We will be covering it all. I am slowly getting set up. I've got that blue light on my shelf there ready. I've just got to make it a bit more prettier with photos. I'm getting there. I've just moved, haven't I? So I've only my
well, now you make it when you get the green screen, like
the green screen.
Yeah, maybe I can get a green screen. Yeah, hide all this behind me. Fault Logic Addy saying, read my comment before I go. Sometimes wish I know Lukaku personally. Would really like to know what's going on in that shiny ball because my guy can't be happy right now, or maybe this is what he really wants.
He's a man child. I think Mourinho said it once, or someone said it. He said that Lukaku is a man child. So technically, if he cannot get close to the manager, he will not succeed. So he's someone that needs to get comfort every time.
40. I spoke about Lukaku for about 20 minutes a day. I'm getting bored of talking about Lukaku. My faults, if you want to know my faults, just rewind it to about 20 odd minutes and you'll see what I've got to say about Lukaku there, mate. But I've got to shoot, guys, but I will be back, so don't worry. We'll be back. Hopefully, if it's not tomorrow, Thursday, we'll be back. We'll keep talking more and more and more when we learn about the Todd Boehly era, what his ideas are, what his philosophy will be, how will we attack this summer market? Will we be aggressive? Will we not? Will we just give people like Emerson's the contracts?
Oh my God, we have to be aggressive.
Yeah. So, there's loads. There is loads to go through. But before you leave, subscribe to the channel. We've got over 100 new subscribers today, so thank you very much. Subscribe if you are new, but make sure you smash the likes. Over 200 likes here as well. We'll be back either tomorrow or next day, or wherever there's breaking news, we will somehow try and work out a stream around that. But big up to yourselves, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Big up, guys. Thank you very much, John.
Thanks to all the panel for everyone coming on as well, and we'll be back again very, very soon. Peace out.